Chapter 367. Du Pengxing's attitude turned colder. You will be transferred to Director Gao's assistant. Director Gao has already informed me that Lin Yan will be taking over. I have already approved it, so there's no need to discuss it further. From today onwards, you will be Director Gao's assistant. As for Lin Yan, she will follow Director Gao from now on. She will have to listen to Director Gao's instructions obediently. Zhao Hongling, who hadn't expected Du Pengxing to be so ruthless, turned pale. President Du, Du Pengxing, who was getting impatient, interrupted her sternly. Zhao Hongling, you've created such a huge mess this time. I'm already being considerate by allowing you to stay in the company. Don't push your luck. Lin Yan chuckled softly as she replied. President Du, Star Entertainment was just a small, unknown company back then. We were on the verge of collapsing several times. All the managers had left the company, and Sister Ling was the only one left. During the company's most difficult times, Sister Ling stayed by our side. She was also the one who groomed Jiang Xifei and made the company famous. That was how the company got on the right track. Are you trying to get rid of her now that she's no longer of use? Du Pengxing flew into a rage when he heard Lin Yan. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like that? Gao Jiwei and Yin Qianqian gloated at Lin Yan's infuriation. Gao Jiwei quickly took the opportunity to comfort Du Pengxing. Boss, don't stoop to their level. What do you mean by it was Zhao Hongling who made a name for the company? It was you who had a good eye for talent and outstanding methods. Yin Qianqian glanced at Lin Yan in disdain. Zhao Hongling is merely basking in the company's glory. Do you really think that Star Entertainment can't survive without Zhao Hongling? Lin Yan, don't be so ungrateful. Brother Wei is the director of the talent department. Many people want to follow him, but they can't. How dare you be so picky? Do you really think that you're Han Yishuan's girlfriend? Or do you think that he will fall for you? What a joke. Du Pengxing felt much better when he heard her. Qianqian, stop talking to them. Either you listen to the company's arrangements or you get lost. Zhao Hongling still had some nostalgia for the company, but now that she heard this, she was completely disappointed. Du Pengxing, I will only give you 1 day to think about it. Think about it carefully. Lin Yan grinned and replied casually, there's no need to think about it. I want to terminate the contract. Sigh, it feels good to have a big shot supporting you. In any case, she had already signed the contract with Summit Entertainment. She had no qualms about terminating the contract now. Du Pengxing, Gao Jiwei, and Yin Qianqian's faces darkened when they heard her. Lin Yan, don't be so shameless. Gao Jiwei hissed coldly. If it weren't for her looks, he wouldn't have wanted her. How dare she refuse to give him face? Zhao Hongling hesitated to speak. In the end, she didn't stop Lin Yan. She couldn't even protect herself now, let alone her boss. Even if Lin Yan stayed on planet Qi, she wouldn't be able to protect her. Plenty seemed to have thought of this as well, so he didn't say anything else. However, terminating the contract. The penalty for terminating the contract wouldn't be a small sum either. Zhao Hongling was worried, so Lin Yan couldn't be bothered to waste her breath on Slaughter's Gate. She waved her hand and pulled Zhao Hongling and Duo away. Sister Ling, don't worry. Even if the sky falls, you'll still have me. Also, where's the big shot? For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 368. Zhao Hongling, Duo, and Lin Yan packed their things and left the office. And Qianqian watched them leave and leaned over to Gao Jiwei's ear. She whispered, Brother Wei, how dare Lin Yan threaten to terminate her contract with the company? Could Zhao Hongling have helped her find another company? Otherwise, why would she be so arrogant? If that's the case, what will happen to the banquet? And Qianqian sounded worried. Gao Jiwei chuckled softly. Qianqian, you're really naive. Without Jiang Xifei, Zhao Hongling would be like a tiger without its fangs. She would be useless. How could she help Lin Yan find another job? As for Lin Yan, she has offended Triumph Entertainment. Which company or manager would dare to hire her? Lin Shuya would definitely wish for her to suffer. Lin Yan would never be able to make it big in this lifetime. And Qianqian nodded happily. Brother Wei, you're so smart. I'm lucky that I chose you. If I had followed Zhao Hongling, I wouldn't have been able to make it big. Gao Jiwei replied smugly. It's good that you know that. As long as you listen to me, you will become the top girl of Star Entertainment. In the future, you will be the top girl of the entire entertainment industry. You should just wait and see. Lin Yan will come crying to me when the time comes. Meanwhile, Lin Yan and Duo had arrived at Zhao Hongling's place. On the way back, Toto didn't say a word. Instead, he sat down on the sofa with a gloomy expression. Sister Ling, what should we do now? President Du doesn't care about our relationship at all. He only listens to Gao Jiwei and Enchantian. Gao Jiwei doesn't know anything about business and he only knows how to pull strings. How dare he ask you to be his assistant? How can he be so shameless? The more Duo thought about it, the angrier she felt for Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling sighed heavily. If you don't agree to his conditions, you will have to leave the company. Lin Yan glanced at Zhao Hongling and tried to sound her out. Sisterling, I wanted to say this earlier. Given your abilities, you can go anywhere you want. Why do you insist on staying at Star Entertainment? It's a waste of your talent. As Lin Yan spoke, she pondered how she should tell Zhao Hongling about Summit Entertainment. Zhao Hongling chuckled bitterly. Lin Yan, some things aren't that simple. From Zhao Hongling's tone, there seemed to be something else she was hiding. Duo glanced at Lin Yan and explained, Sister Yan, you haven't been with the company for long, so there are some things that you might not be aware of. Du Pengxing is a despicable man. Anyone who has left Planet Qi, be it an artist or a manager, will be vilified by him. Other companies didn't dare to accept it. Jiang Xifei, who had been poached by Triumph Entertainment, was an exception. She has a backer, so Du Pengxing won't dare to mess with her. Duo added, Of course, you don't have to worry about your dark skin. I'm just afraid that Sister Ling and the rest won't let you off. Lin Yan was speechless. Why couldn't he be sarcastic now? Yeah, that makes sense. In that case, I don't have to be afraid of them, replied Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling shook her head and replied, Lin Yan, it won't be easy to terminate the contract even if you manage to raise enough money. Gao Jiwei will definitely hold on to your contract and won't let it go. Once he goes to court, it will take months or years. You won't be able to take on any jobs during this period. You will be crippled. Chapter 369. Zhao Hongling and Duo fell silent at this point. They were in a terrible situation. It was as though they had fallen into a hopeless situation. Zhao Hongling glanced at Duo, who knew what she wanted to say. Before she could speak, Duo interrupted her. Sister Ling, don't try to persuade me. I've said that I will go wherever you go. You will stay in planet Venus, and I will stay in planet Venus. If you leave, I will leave with you. Even if it's a small company, I will follow you. Zhao Hongling sighed helplessly. She didn't know what to say. Lin Yan rubbed her chin as she glanced at Zhao Hongling and Duo. Sister Ling, Duo. There's something I'd like to ask your opinion on. Duo glanced at Lin Yan. What is it? Zhao Hongling replied. Speak. Lin Yan coughed softly. After I terminate my contract with Star Entertainment, I plan to go to Summit Entertainment. Are you guys willing to go with me? Zhao Hongling was speechless. Duo was speechless. For a moment, the air fell into a strange silence. Duo coughed violently after some time. Sister Yan, have you lost your mind? Lin Yan, who had expected Duo to react this way, replied helplessly. No, I'm serious. Actually, I came to the company today to talk to you about this. The corners of Duo's mouth twitched. Sister Yan, I'm not trying to nag you, but there has to be a limit. Do you know what kind of company Summit Entertainment is? Do you know what kind of artists are able to join Summit Entertainment? Jiang Xifei is so impressive, yet she could only join House of Millions Media, a subsidiary of Triumph Entertainment. She can't even hold a candle to Summit Entertainment. Lin Yan stroked her chin. Is it that impressive? Of course. Summit Entertainment isn't an ordinary management company. It's backed by JM Corporation. It's the Pei family. That's the agency of your idol, Pei Nanshu, who's a top-notch artist. It's the top company in the industry. It's filled with experts. More than half of the top celebrities in the entertainment industry come from Summit Entertainment. It's the only management company in the entertainment industry that's more powerful than Triumph Entertainment. Pei Yuqing is the tycoon in the business world. He's the boss of all the female fans in the entertainment industry. You should know him, right? He was the boss of Summit Entertainment. She has the most impressive backing in the entertainment industry. Duo rattled on. Lin Yan nodded as she listened to Duo praise Pei Yuqing. For some reason she felt honored. I know Pei Yuqing. How could she not know her boyfriend? Lin Yan asked, so are you guys coming with me or not? Sister Yan, I'm afraid you've gone completely crazy. Duo looked exhausted, as though she didn't want to talk to her anymore. Sister Ling, please persuade her. Advise her to get over it and not be so unrealistic. How dare he dream of joining Summit Entertainment? This is insane. Lin Yan stroked her chin and raised an eyebrow. What if I really managed to join Summit Entertainment? Duo rolled her eyes at her. I've said it before. If you can achieve the highest sales performance within 3 months, I'll serve you tea. If you join Summit Entertainment, I'll even call you Grandma. Lin Yan nodded. Oh, I see. I didn't expect to have a granddaughter at such a young age. Lin Yan retrieved a contract from her tattered bag and placed it on the coffee table in front of Duo and Zhao Hongling. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 370. On the cover of the contract, there was a line that read, Summit Entertainment Artist Contract Party A. Summit Entertainment Party B. Lin Yan. Duo froze for a few seconds before she picked up the contract. Although she didn't really understand it, she could still understand the terms Party A and Party B in the contract. Sister Ling, take a look at this contract. Duo hurriedly passed the contract to Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling read it carefully and realized that it was indeed a contract with Summit Entertainment. Sister Yan, did you forge this contract? Duo couldn't believe that Summit Entertainment would sign Lin Yan. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. What would I gain from forging this contract? Duo pondered for a moment and realized that Lin Yan didn't have to do something so meaningless. So, could this contract really be real? Lin Yan retrieved another 2 contracts from her bag. Sister Ling, this is your management contract and Duo's assistant contract. Duo read the 2 contracts and exchanged a look with Zhao Hongling. Both of them looked incredulous. It was as if a pie had fallen from the sky. Why did he feel dizzy? Lin Yan, what is going on? Asked Zhao Hongling. She couldn't figure out how Lin Yan had managed to get a contract with Summit Entertainment. She had even managed to get a contract with Duo. Summit Entertainment was famous for its strict standards. They wouldn't poach any artists unless they were A-list artists. Their talent and qualifications were extremely high, and it was the same for their managers. Although she had managed Jiang Xifei, the award-winning actress, in Star Entertainment, she was qualified to be the director of the talent recruitment department. In Summit Entertainment, there were many managers like her. Naturally, Lin Yan couldn't tell the truth. It wasn't that she didn't trust Sister Ling and Duo. It was just that the fewer people who knew about her relationship with Pei Yuqing, the better. Hence, Lin Yan deliberated over her words before she said, Actually, I'm quite surprised. Summit Entertainment must have taken a liking to me because of my potential. They must have thought that I would be a hit. Lin Yan's story became smoother and smoother as she exclaimed, I never expected that there would be such an astute company nowadays. Duo's face darkened as she listened to Lin Yan's boast. She blurted out, Is there something wrong with Summit Entertainment's head? Sister Yan's potential? Lin Yan shook the contract in her hand. I'm giving you another chance to rephrase your words. Duo was speechless. Who in Summit Entertainment would be so stupid as to see your potential? Lin Yan nodded in satisfaction. Good granddaughter. Zhao Hongling was about to speak when a few work emails popped up in her inbox. What happened, Sister Ling? Duo asked. Zhao Hongling stared at the email in her inbox and replied in a daze, I've been fired and Lin Yan's contract has been terminated. Plenty was about to explode from anger. These people are truly cruel and unscrupulous. What right did they have to chase Sister Ling away? And that Gao Jiwei, who does she think she is? She's just a vile person intoxicated by success. Previously, when he was working for Sister Ling, He had addressed her as his sister. Now, he had the cheek to ask Sister Ling to be his assistant. He even spoke as if it was a great gift. If she didn't agree, he would chase her out of the company. How much effort has Sister Ling put into this company? Zhao Hongling looked at the mailbox and let out a long sigh. The last bit of nostalgia in her heart had finally disappeared. Chapter 371. Lin Yan chuckled softly. Baby Duo, calm down. We already knew this would happen, didn't we? Right now, Gao Jiwei was trying to intimidate us. He was waiting for us to go back to them after our heads were bruised and bleeding. Then, we would obediently let them squeeze us dry. It's a pity. Lin Yan shook her head and quipped. It's a pity that they didn't expect our new boss to be so blind. Our new boss has such a powerful backing. Duo was speechless. There was nothing wrong with that. This new boss wasn't just powerful. She wouldn't have dared to dream of it even if she burned incense for 8 lifetimes. Lin Yan glanced at the two of them and said, Sister Ling Duo, if you agree, please sign the contract. Once you sign it, the contract will take effect. Zhao Hongling and Duo exchanged a glance. Out of caution, Zhao Hongling asked, Who is the person who asked you to sign the contract? He seems to have a lot of authority. Otherwise, he wouldn't have agreed to sign the contract with me and give you the freedom to choose your own assistant. Hence, she mentioned the name of the person in charge of the talent recruitment department of Summit Entertainment. It's Qi Sheng from Team 3. Summit Entertainment's talent recruitment department was divided into several teams, and the competition between each team was intense. Qi Sheng was the leader of Team 3. Zhao Hongling heaved a sigh of relief when she heard this name. Oh, it's him. I've heard of him in the industry. He has an eclectic style and likes to sign unique artists. Although his performance in Summit Entertainment isn't impressive, he is a decent person. There shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Sister Ling, if you say there won't be a problem, then there won't be a problem. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan helplessly. Leave the contract with me. I will read it carefully and sign it after I'm sure there won't be a problem. Lin Yan replied. All right. Thank you, Sister Ling. Oh yeah, you have to keep this a secret. Don't tell anyone you don't trust. This isn't a small matter, and I'm afraid it will cause a commotion. I'm sure Summit Entertainment has its own plans for the official announcement. We'll arrange a time to discuss it with Leader Qi after I read the contract, Zhao Hongling said. All right, I got it. No problem. Thank you, Sister Ling. Zhao Hongling held the 3-point contract with an indescribable feeling in her heart. You've finally come out on top. Although you'll face greater challenges in the future, this is also your greatest opportunity. At the same time, it was hers. In fact, many companies had offered to poach her. Although they weren't comparable to Summit Entertainment, they were much better than Star Entertainment. However, she had never thought of leaving. He didn't expect that he would leave in such a way. Zhao Hongling paused and said, Also thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Lin Yan, who wasn't used to Zhao Hongling's seriousness, grinned and replied, Sister Ling, what are you talking about? I've caused you so much trouble, but you've never given up on me. No matter where I go, you'll always be my manager. Duoduo's expression changed slightly as she muttered under her breath. I didn't expect you to be so loyal. Forget it. I seem to have misunderstood you in the past. Let me apologize. Thank you for letting me be your assistant and allowing me to continue working for you. I will do my best in the future. Even if you don't get first place in sales, I will take care of you like an ancestor. Thank you so much. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 372. After settling the matters at Star Entertainment, Lin Yan hurried back to her apartment. She had just reached her apartment building when she saw a car parked outside. Pei Yutong opened the door and got out of the car. Big sister-in-law, you're finally back. Have you settled the matter? Lin Yan snapped her fingers. It's done. I've been fired. Pei Yutong muttered under his breath. This is the first time I've seen someone so happy after being fired. Lin Yan replied smugly. Haven't you heard of this saying? If you can't forget your old lover, it means that your new one isn't good enough. Pei Yutong was speechless. Ha! Lin Yan heard a familiar chuckle behind her. She turned around and saw Pei Yuqing getting out of the car. She looked embarrassed. Ahem. Mr. Pei, why are you here? Today, Pei Yuqing was wearing a white shirt and a thin, light gray woolen sweater. He was also wearing a black trench coat that revealed the outline of his slender neck. He looked elegant and alluring. It seems like Miss Lin is satisfied with your new lover. The man chuckled softly. Lin Yan hadn't expected to be caught red-handed. She braced herself and said, I'm satisfied. Of course I'm satisfied. I can't be more satisfied. Pei Yutong, who had been the third wheel, was speechless. Oh yeah, third young master, why did you ask Mr. Pei to come? How could she trouble Mr. Pei to do such a heavy and tiring job? Mr. Pei is so weak now. Lin Yan grumbled. Pei Yutong looked aggrieved when he heard that. So, he could do it? His brother was weak? His brother's combat power was so terrifying that it was terrifying. Okay? Forget it, forget it. He was the one who said it in the first place. What else could he do? He could only swallow his tears. No matter what, he had to help his brother maintain this weak persona. Pei Yuqing studied the girl's worried expression and reached out to stroke her head gently. It's okay. Yutong will be in charge of moving. I'll be in charge of picking you up. The man's deep, gentle voice rang in her ears. Lin Yan clutched her heart as he teased her again. No matter how many times he teased her, she felt like an 18-year-old girl being teased for the first time. Pei Yutong, who had fallen silent for the third time, was speechless. Pei Yutong glanced at the two of them and couldn't help but say, although I'm happy to eat your dog food, it doesn't mean that you can slaughter dogs. The three of them went upstairs to Lin Yan's apartment. She had packed most of her belongings the night before, so she checked them again to make sure that she hadn't missed anything. Pei Yuqing stood in the middle of the living room and surveyed the familiar yet unfamiliar room. His eyes darted to the lamp on which Lin Yan had once pasted a note on. The corners of his mouth curled up subtly. The note on the lamp was still stuck on it. Do you still want this lamp, sister-in-law? Pei Yutong said as he tidied up the table. Hey, why is there such a big piece of paper on the lamp? Big sister-in-law, what are you writing? Don't go near Pei. Lin Yan, who was busy tidying up the table, paled when she heard him. She darted forward and shoved the lamp, along with the note, into the bin. I don't want it anymore. Throw them all away. Okay. Pei Yutong continued to tidy up. He picked up a bag and glanced at the contents. Big sister-in-law, why is there a string of garlic inside? What do you want it for? Chapter 373. Lin Yan shoved the food back into the bag. Can't I keep it for myself? Pei Yutong's expression was indescribable. However, based on big sister-in-law's principle, what's right is right, and what's wrong is right. In short, big sister-in-law is never wrong. Pei Yutong immediately said, I see. Garlic is good. Garlic kills bacteria, prevents cancer, and lowers blood fats and cholesterol. Big sister-in-law, you're really healthy. Lin Yan coughed. Ahem. That's right. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. Before she could finish her sentence, she heard a loud crash. The 8 trigrams mirror, talismans, peachwood swords, and all sorts of other items fell out of the bag. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong was speechless. Pei Yuqing was speechless. He remembered that he had thrown these things away previously. Pei Yutong picked them up curiously. 8 trigrams mirror. Talismans. And this sword. Big sister-in-law? What are these for? Pei Yutong hadn't expected to find anything that belonged to a girl in Lin Yan's apartment. Instead, there were so many strange and bizarre things. Lin Yan was exasperated as she stole a glance at Pei Yuqing. As she tidied up, she said solemnly, Ahem. Decorations. Don't you think that's classy? Anyway, you have to be careful when you move them. Don't break them. Pei Yutong blinked in confusion. Decorations? Lin Yan chuckled dryly and nodded. Actually, she thought that it was ridiculous. She was just about to explain herself when Pei Yutong's eyes sparkled as he caressed the items. He exclaimed in an exaggerated tone, Big sister-in-law, you have a unique taste indeed. Even the decorations in your apartment are so unique. You're like a fresh breeze in the entertainment industry. You're indeed my big sister-in-law. Big sister-in-law, where did you buy these things? Send me the link. I want to decorate my apartment. I want to keep up with my big sister-in-law's taste. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard Pei Yutong's eloquent speech. Her jaw almost dropped. Young man, are you serious? Pei Yutong's eyes were filled with admiration and excitement. He sounded sincere and didn't seem like he was joking. Pei Yutong replied, Big sister-in-law, remember to send me the link. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan glanced awkwardly at Pei Yuqing. Pei Yuqing put down the mirror and chuckled softly. It's special. Lin Yan was at a loss for words. Did the people of the Pei family have such a weird sense of beauty? Was there something wrong with her taste? Sister-in-law, is there anything else that needs to be moved? There are some in the bedroom. All right. Lin Yan poured him a glass of water and said, Mr. Pei, please wait here for a while. I don't have many things. I'll be done soon. Pei Yuqing replied, All right. Lin Yan followed him into the bedroom. The moment she stepped in, she saw Pei Yutong staring at her with a complicated expression on his face. Lin Yan was perplexed. What was wrong now? What's wrong? Asked Lin Yan. Pei Yutong turned his head and glanced at the wall opposite the door. He pointed at it and asked meekly, Is this also a decoration? Lin Yan followed Pei Yutong's gaze and saw the huge poster of Pei Nanxiu. Chapter 374. This time, Pei Yutong stared at the poster. He didn't have the guts to say, Big sister-in-law, you have great taste. She hadn't dared to show the poster that Pei Yutong had given her. She had kept it in her drawer. Lin Yan had bought the poster when she had first fallen into the trap. It had been stuck on her bed all this time, so she had completely forgotten about it. Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yan in horror. Big sister-in-law, did you suddenly ask to move to my big brother's place because of second brother? Is it because second brother is staying with big brother? Lin Yan was even more terrified now. Young man, this is a dangerous thought. What nonsense is going on in that head of yours? How many times have I told you that second brother and I are just fans and idols? Besides, before I met your big brother, he didn't even know who I was. Lin Yan retorted in exasperation. Pei Yutong was lost in his own thoughts. If they were to fight, should he side with big brother or second brother? Anyway, big sister-in-law, you have to stand firm. Otherwise, both second brother and I will die. Even if you don't care about my life, you have to care about second brother's life. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. I know. Your big brother's casual smile can mesmerize me. How can I be in the mood to think about other things? Stop imagining things. Hurry up and help me remove the poster. Pei Yutong felt a little more at ease when he heard her. He was tall, so he began to remove the poster in a flurry. Be careful. Don't tear it. Although this poster was printed and only cost 10 yuan, it was the first poster she had ever bought. She had already started to like Pei Nanxiu when they were in school. At the time, she had been like many carefree young girls. She had liked pretty dresses, shiny hair clips, and idol-chasing celebrities. However, later on, to her, Pei Nanxiu was like the time when she had been forced to end her youth. Although it had been a short time, it had been the most beautiful and pure experience she had ever had. I know. I definitely won't let you tear it. Pei Yutong replied as he removed the poster. Lin Yan stood there, staring at him. Suddenly, she heard footsteps behind her. Do you need help? Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong was speechless. Pei Yutong's hands trembled in fright, and he tore a huge hole in the poster. Lin Yan stared at the gaping wound and clutched her chest. She almost vomited blood. But at this time, how could she care about the poster? What to do? Why was her life either turning upside down or on the way to turning upside down? Pei Nanxiu's poster had been one of the reasons Pei Yuqing had lost his temper. Dad, you have to think of a way. Pei Yutong opened his arms and tried to use his body to block the poster. At the same time, Pei Yuqing strode over. At the last moment, Lin Yan spun around and lunged at Pei Yuqing, causing him to stumble backward. She stood on her tiptoes and closed her eyes. She steeled her heart and kissed him on the lips. For a better reading experience, please visit the Love website. Chapter 375. Pei Yutong gasped in amazement as he watched. How could it be done like that? After a moment's hesitation, Pei Yutong seized the opportunity to tear down all the posters. He rolled them up and stuffed them into the box. Then, he slammed the box shut and locked it. They were safe now. Pei Yuqing's eyes darted to the girl from the corner of his eyes. His eyes darkened instantly. He could smell the refreshing scent of the girl's shower gel and her unique fragrance. This was the first time the girl had taken the initiative to approach him. Although her reason for doing so did not make him feel good, but it was already offset. Lin Yan wasn't sure if Pei Yuqing had seen the poster or not. After kissing him, she said naturally, "Ahem. I'm sorry. I thought that I would have more time to spend with you in the future, so I was overjoyed." Of course, he knew how good she was at coaxing people. He also knew that she would only coax him when she was guilty. However, Pei Yuqing leaned over and planted a gentle kiss on the girl's forehead. He said hoarsely, "Me too." However, he was still willing to drink poison to quench his thirst. Pei Yutong was bewildered. His brother had come in too suddenly, so he should have seen the poster. But looking at his expression, it seemed like he didn't know anything and wasn't angry. Had he really not seen it, or had big sister-in-law coaxed him too easily? Lin Yan was done packing her things. The three of them moved everything to the car downstairs and drove to Pei Yuqing's villa. Lin Yan received a message from Wang Jingyang. "Dog, I got off work early. I'll help you move." Misty City amid the setting sun replied, "It's fine. I've settled everything." "Dog. So fast? Why didn't you wait for me?" Misty City amid the setting sun replied, "I don't have much stuff. I didn't need to trouble you." Wang Jingyang had a bad premonition as he stared at Lin Yan's new WeChat ID. At Cloud Manor. When they reached the villa, Pei Nanshu helped them carry Lin Yan's luggage. "Fortunately, big sister-in-law is here to take care of big brother. I have already told my manager to help me get some work back." Pei Nanshu grinned. In other words, he wouldn't be staying at home for too long, and the two of them could spend some time together. If he hadn't promised his father that he would stay here to look after big brother, he wouldn't have stayed after Lin Yan had arrived. "Mr. Pei, you're being too polite." "It's what I should do," Lin Yan replied hastily as she held his hand. Pei Yutong had reminded her that Pei Nanshu had been staying here as well. She had to be more careful in case Pei Yuqing misunderstood her. Pei Yuqing glanced at the girl, who was holding his hand carefully. Then, he glanced at his second brother warmly. After entering the room, Lin Yan's back stiffened as she suddenly recalled something. Which room would she be staying in after moving in? Would she be sharing a room with Pei Yuqing? "Mr. Pei, may I know where I will be staying?" Lin Yan raised her hand and asked meekly. Pei Yuqing's mesmerizing eyes darted to the girl gently. A teasing smile appeared in his eyes as he asked slowly, "Which room do you want to stay in?" Chapter 376. Lin Yan's cheeks flushed when she heard his question. She had no ulterior motives. Pei Yuqing didn't tease her anymore. "I've prepared a room for you. It's the guest room next to the master bedroom." Flash dance. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pei." Pei Yuqing led Lin Yan to the guest room. Pei Yutong, who was trailing behind them, looked anxious. He had been waiting for the stars and the moon. The car had finally sped up, so how could he brake now? Pei Yutong couldn't help but chase after Lin Yan. He whispered in her ear, "Big sister-in-law, I saw the decorations you liked. Are you afraid of ghosts? Let me tell you, men have strong yang energy. It's good at exorcising ghosts. It's more effective than any weapon." The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched as she fell silent. Pei Yuqing was good at exorcising ghosts? How could she dare to stay in the same room as Pei Yuqing? What if the other lecher took advantage of the situation and did something to Pei Yuqing? Wouldn't she become a sinner for all eternity? She would be at a disadvantage then. She would be the scapegoat every time and wouldn't even know what had happened. Lin Yan replied calmly, "You're overthinking. I'm not afraid of ghosts at all. Those decorations are for decoration. I want the room to look classy and classy." Then, if you want the house to look classy and classy, then why do you need decorations and decorations? Just put my brother inside. There's nothing more classy and classy than that. Pei Yutong sounded like a salesman at that moment. Flash dance. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yuqing led Lin Yan to the room. She stood at the door and scanned the room. The room was decorated in a quiet and classy Morandi color scheme. The decorations were comfortable and simple, and there were daily necessities. Lin Yan didn't need to prepare anything for herself. Pei Yuqing replied, "If you need anything, you can tell me." "No, it's fine. I don't need anything. Thank you, Mr. Pei. I just need to tidy up my things." Lin Yan replied hastily. Lin Yan surveyed the comfortable room before glancing at the man before her. She recalled how she had almost ended up on the streets a few months ago. It felt as though a lifetime had passed. Sigh, from hell to heaven, it's just like this. All of a sudden, she felt that the pervert who had forced her to put on an act and fall in love with Pei Yuqing wasn't just trying to trick her. "Tidy up first. Call me if you need anything." "I'll go cook," Pei Yuqing replied. Lin Yan was speechless. Cook? After a loud N sound, Lin Yan had fallen from heaven to hell again. "Aya! Big brother, sister-in-law, there's something urgent at the motorcade. You know old Wang from our motorcade, right? He was hit by a car. I have to hurry over and take a look. I'll take my leave first. There's no need to send me off. Bye-bye." Pei Yutong responded quickly. Lin Yan grabbed him and hissed through gritted teeth. "Are you going to abandon your father just like that? You unfilial son." Pei Yutong scowled miserably. "I can get beaten up by my brother, but I can't eat my brother's food." After saying that, he immediately ran away faster than a rabbit. F***CK. Lin Yan gritted her teeth. What a disloyal fellow. Next time, she would let him know that a father's love was like a landslide. Chapter 377. Lin Yan could only turn to her last hope, Pei Nanshu. Pei Nanshu coughed softly when he saw Lin Yan's pleading gaze. "Ahem. I have a dinner tonight." This was the first day that big sister-in-law had moved in, so he had deliberately avoided her so that she could be alone with her big brother. He hadn't expected that he would be able to escape this calamity. Lin Yan replied, "All right then." She hadn't expected that her idol would abandon her. Lin Yan glanced at the kitchen and couldn't help but ask Pei Nanshu, "Mr. Pei, I have a question. Doesn't Mr. Pei know that his food is disgusting?" She remembered that he had eaten the food that day. Pei Nanshu was startled. He shook his head and replied, "Big brother, he doesn't know." "Why wouldn't he know? He ate it himself." Lin Yan was puzzled. Pei Nanshu fell silent for a moment before he replied, "Because my brother has never had a sense of taste since he was young." "What?" Lin Yan was taken aback by his words. She hadn't expected that this would be the reason. "Are you saying that Mr. Pei doesn't have a sense of taste?" Lin Yan was shocked. "That's right. That's why he doesn't even know what salt, vinegar, sourness, sweetness, bitterness, and spiciness are," Pei Nanshu explained. "Oh, I see. No wonder." Lin Yan muttered to herself. But why doesn't he have a sense of taste? What caused this? Is there no treatment? I'm not too sure either. Anyway, I've known for a long time that Big Brother has no sense of taste. He seems to have been born with it and he doesn't like people to talk about it. Ahem. My big brother likes to cook. He used to cook for us. Pei Nanshu said helplessly. Actually, he used to live with Big Brother. However, he couldn't stand Big Brother's cooking. Lin Yan was speechless. Why was she suspecting the real reason why Pei Yutong had left home? Was it because he didn't want to eat his brother's cooking? At that moment, Pei Nanshu received a call. His manager was probably rushing him. After the call, Pei Nanshu said, "Miss Lin, I'm leaving now. Please take care of my brother." Sure. Don't worry." After Pei Nanshu left, Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground, feeling conflicted. Initially, she had thought that she couldn't let Pei Yuqing cook. However, after hearing what he had said, she hesitated. If she were to run over and stop him from cooking, wouldn't it seem like she was despising him? This was too hurtful. But if she didn't stop him, she would be hurt. Lin Yan's eyes trailed to the tall figure in the kitchen. The man had taken off his coat, and his sleeves were rolled up as he washed the vegetables. Sigh, why is even cooking so pleasing to the eye? Forget it. It's just a meal. What's the big deal? You won't die from eating it. Soon, Pei Yuqing was done cooking. To be honest, Pei Yuqing was rather meticulous when he did things, and his movements were especially beautiful. When he did these things, one couldn't take their eyes off him. Judging from the process of him cooking, it was as though he was completing a piece of art. One could not wait to see the finished product. Of course, that was if Lin Yan hadn't tasted Pei Yuqing's cooking before. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 378. Lin Yan sat at the table, feeling as though she was sitting on pins and needles. It was just a meal, but she felt as though she was about to enter the execution ground. Try it. Pei Yuqing picked up a piece of braised pork for her. Okay, thank you. I'll do it myself. Lin Yan glanced at the braised pork. The color and appearance seemed pretty good. Perhaps it wasn't that scary? Perhaps she had been unlucky the last time and had eaten the worst food? Hence, Lin Yan put the braised pork into her mouth. A second later, as she chewed, Lin Yan could clearly feel the taste of death. It was even worse than the last time she had eaten it. She was afraid that she would really die from eating it. So it turned out that she hadn't been unlucky the last time. She had been so lucky that she hadn't known how to cherish it. It must have been really difficult to cook such horrible food, right? Boss, how did you do it? How could you cook such horrible food? Even she found it hard to swallow her food in front of Pei Yuqing's handsome face. This showed how lethal the food was. Pei Yuqing's crazy female fans should come and try his food. That would definitely cause a mass exodus of fans. As his girlfriend, Lin Yan had no choice but to swallow her feelings silently. Lin Yan muttered, "It's delicious. It's delicious." Life was like a drama, and it all depended on acting. It's good that you like it. The food outside isn't healthy. When you start working, I'll prepare lunch for you. You can bring it over, Pei Yuqing said. Lin Yan's chopsticks dropped the quail egg on the plate with a loud thud. This was a bolt out of the blue. Even though her heart had been corroded by the braised pork, vegetables, and sweet and sour pork, Lin Yan still smiled and said, Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pei. Was this the feeling of love? If it wasn't true love, who would be able to do it? When the meal was finally over, Lin Yan felt as though she had survived a calamity. Thank you for cooking for me. I'll go wash the dishes. Lin Yan volunteered. Pei Yuqing stroked the girl's head. It's okay. Go and rest. Just eat. Lin Yan was speechless. Ha ha ha. You're in charge of eating. This sentence should have been such a romantic one. But when it came to her, it became a death warrant. Lin Yan felt that she needed to take a breather. Hence, she returned to her room and secretly rummaged through all the snacks she had brought. He tore open a few milk candies and stuffed them all into his mouth. When the candy melted in her mouth, Lin Yan finally felt as though she had returned to the mortal world. Fortunately, she had brought all the snacks with her. Many celebrities preferred to go on a diet. However, Lin Yan's body consumed more energy than ordinary people, so she didn't have to go on a diet. She ate as usual and had plenty of snacks at home. As long as he didn't eat too much, he wouldn't get fat. Being a racer was also a profession that required strict weight control, so she paid attention to this aspect. After eating some snacks, she finally felt better. Then, she began to organize her things. He looked at the garlic, peachwood sword, talisman paper, and other items in one of the big bags. Lin Yan scanned the elegantly decorated room. No matter how she looked at it, she felt that it would ruin the style. However, she had no choice. It was more important to preserve her integrity. She had been normal for a long time. Perhaps it was because of these items. Lin Yan's expression tightened as she watched the night sky darken. She hurriedly hung up everything. For a better reading experience, please visit the website of Self-Love. Chapter 379. After that, Lin Yan fished out the poster that Pei Yutong had torn earlier. What an unlucky kid. Did he know how old this poster had been? How could such a huge tear appear on it? Forget it. She would get another limited edition poster from him. Lin Yan was about to find some tape to fix the poster when she heard Pei Yuqing's voice. Are you done? Do you need help? Lin Yan almost spat out a mouthful of blood. She was scared out of her wits as she kicked the poster under the bed. She really shouldn't do anything shameful. Damn it! She had been scared to death. She had almost forgotten that this was Pei Yuqing's house. She had to be more careful. Lin Yan composed herself and picked up a bunch of garlic. As she hung it on the handle of the cabinet, she said, "No need. I'm almost done." Lin Yan had no idea that Pei Yuqing's reflexes were much faster than ordinary people. Hence, she thought that she was fast, but Pei Yuqing had actually seen her hiding the things under the bed. However, the man didn't show it on his face. He scanned the things Lin Yan had hung in the room and said gently, "Okay, rest early." Lin Yan nodded furiously. "Okay, Mr. Pei. Rest early too." Pei Yuqing nodded and turned to leave. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when the man finally left. However, Pei Yuqing paused and turned to look at her. "Oh yeah, Miss Lin. What's wrong?" Lin Yan thought that Pei Yuqing had something to tell her, so she cast a questioning glance at him. He couldn't have discovered anything, right? Under the gentle light, the man's tall figure seemed to be covered in a layer of faint golden light. His glasses were slightly reflective, masking the emotions in his eyes. The man looked at her against the light and said in a low voice, "If you're afraid of sleeping alone at night, you can look for me." Lin Yan, who was startled, coughed violently. Ahem. 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 Is this an invitation?" Pei Yuqing chuckled softly at the girl's shocked expression. Then, he turned around and returned to the master bedroom. Lin Yan was left standing in the room in a daze. Her mind was in a mess. Calm down. What was she thinking? Wasn't Pei Yuqing just concerned about her and worried that she wouldn't be able to get used to living in an unfamiliar place? How could it be an invitation? Oh, even if it was an invitation, it wouldn't make up for what she ate tonight. After washing up, Lin Yan finally lay down on the bed. The blanket was soft and fluffy, and the air was filled with the fragrance of trees and flowers coming from outside the window, mixed with the low cries of unknown birds and beasts. The messy thoughts in her mind drifted away as she drifted off to sleep. In the master bedroom next door, the man sat on the bed with a book in his hand. His pajamas were casually draped over his shoulders. The glasses on his face had already been removed, revealing a pair of eyes that were darker than the night. The master bedroom was very close to the guest bedroom, and the windows were open. If they made any loud noises, they would be able to hear it. Sensing that Lin Yan was asleep, the man put down his book and lay down. The night grew darker and darker. Lin Yan was fast asleep. However, just as she was about to fall asleep, she vaguely heard a beeping sound coming from the master bedroom next door. "I can finally see my baby's comments. I feel alive. I miss you guys so much. Come and have fun." Chapter 380. At the entrance of Cloud Manor, Pei Nanshu had wanted to give his brother and Lin Yan a chance to be alone, so he had planned to return the next day. However, in the middle of the night, he had suddenly received news from the specialist team that his brother's vitals had started to break through the threshold. How could something have happened to Big Brother? Lin Yan was at home. He had left because he knew that Big Brother would be fine with Lin Yan around. He hadn't expected the specialist to call him. Pei Nanshu had no choice but to rush back in the middle of the night. He had called Lin Yan on the way, but Lin Yan had probably fallen asleep. Her phone had been switched off, and no one had picked up. When he arrived, apart from a group of experts and professors, Qin Huan and Xing Chen were also there. "What happened?" Pei Nanshu asked, panting heavily. Qin Huan looked perplexed. "I don't know. His condition had stabilized for a day and a night. We thought that it was getting better, but it suddenly started again. It has been going on for a long time and it hasn't stopped yet. Second young master, why aren't you by his side? Given Brother Yu's condition, how can he leave us?" Pei Nanshu replied anxiously, "Miss Lin is with my brother, so I thought that everything would be fine." Qin Huan, who was startled, exclaimed, "Miss Lin? Are you talking about Lin Yan? Did she stay at Brother Yu's place tonight?" Pei Nanshu replied, "They are currently staying together." Qin Huan's face lit up with joy. Not only have they gotten back together, but they are also living together. Are they living together? Are you serious? Isn't that great? In that case, Brother Yu should be fine with Lin Yan, who was a powerful stabilizer. What is going on? Has Lin Yan's stabilizer worked? Pei Nanshu shook his head. "I just came back, so I don't know what's going on. Miss Lin's phone has been switched off, so I don't know what's going on inside. When Pei Yuqing acted up, no one except Lin Yan could get close to him. That was because he could lose control of his powers at any time. Besides, they might agitate him if they were around him. Therefore, without knowing the situation, they did not dare to rashly go in. When Xingchen heard this, he bit the lollipop in his mouth and looked a little suspicious. At this moment, one of the doctors held a black instrument the size of a cell phone in one hand and a special gray box in the other. He said in a low voice, "This situation is too dangerous. We must immediately give young master a stabilizer injection." Pei Nonshu stared at the box in the doctor's hands and frowned. "Professor Tan, didn't you say that this stabilizer has a lot of side effects?" Qin Huan chimed in. "Yeah, Brother Yu's body is already weak. How can he take it if he registers now?" Xing Chen quipped. "That shouldn't be the case. As long as Miss Lin is around, Brother Yu won't lose control. There has never been an exception." Unless, Pei Nonshu understood what Xing Chen meant and immediately explained, "They have been very close recently. Before I left, my brother was still cooking dinner for Miss Lin." Qin Huan looked horrified. "Brother Yu is cooking for Lin Yan? How could you let Brother Yu cook for that woman?" Finished. That woman will definitely break up with Brother Yu after eating his cooking. Chapter 381. Pei Nonshu coughed softly. "Miss Lin ate my brother's cooking last time. At that time, she chose to hide it, just like us. She didn't seem unhappy with my brother because of it." Qin Huan fell silent for a long time before he sighed. "I didn't expect that woman to love Brother Yu." Xing Chen frowned. "Don't talk nonsense. We should think about what to do now. Should we inject the stabilizer or not?" Qin Huan and Pei Nonshu fell silent when they heard Xing Chen. Even though Pei Nonshu was Pei Yuqing's biological brother, he couldn't make such a big decision. Qin Huan muttered under his breath, "I think it's better not to inject him." In the past, whenever Boss was injected with stabilizers, he was tormented half to death. Professor Tan glanced at Qin Huan with displeasure. Then he turned to Pei Nonshu and said sternly, "Second young master, please open the door and let us in. Eldest young master needs to be injected with the stabilizer immediately. Even if the stabilizer has side effects, it's better than losing his life. Given eldest young master's current condition, he will be in danger even if we delay it for another minute. Chairman Pei has ordered us to inject the stabilizer into eldest young master as soon as possible. As for that woman, she can at most affect Mr. Pei's emotions and temporarily delay the onset of an attack. How can she replace the stabilizer?" Pei Nonshu was a little shaken by Professor Tan's words. "So, what are the side effects of this newly developed stabilizer?" Professor Tan replied, "The side effects we know are similar to the previous ones. It may affect the body's defense mechanism and cause damage to the immune system. In addition, there will be a certain degree of ulceration. Eldest young master's illness was too sudden, so we haven't done the final tests on the newly developed stabilizer. So, we can't predict the other side effects for now." "What?" Pei Nonshu's expression darkened. The damage to the immune system was serious enough. What more could there be? So many unpredictable situations. However, just as Professor Tan had said, staying alive was more important. Qin Huan chimed in. "Old Tan, don't blame me for being blunt. The problem is that the stabilizer you developed didn't seem to be very effective. Brother Yu's wretched watch was beeping every other day. It was basically temporary and didn't last at all. Plus, there are a lot of side effects, which tormented Brother Yu." When Professor Tan heard that, he was so angry that his beard almost curled up. "What do you know, you little brat? Do you know how much effort we spent on these stabilizers? I dare say that other than the laboratory I lead, there is absolutely no one else who can develop it. If it wasn't for me, eldest young master's body wouldn't have lasted this long." Qin Huan rubbed his nose and muttered, "I'm telling the truth. Look at you, you're even angry. Your product isn't as natural and harmless as Lin Yan's stabilizer. Professor Tan, you little brat. Since you said that the woman is more effective than my stabilizer, why did eldest young master still act up when she's by his side?" Qin Huan touched his chin. "Well, even though we are living together. But..." Qin Huan glanced at Pei Nonshu. "Second young master, Is she sleeping with Brother Yu? Chapter 382. Pei Nanshu looked awkward as he coughed softly. No, they slept in separate rooms. Qin Huan snapped his fingers and said, That's right. I thought they were sleeping together. It's not like we're staying together all the time. If it's acting up, it's because we're not close enough to the stabilizer. Pei Nanshu was speechless, although Qin Huan's words were a little reasonable. In the end, Pei Nanshu led all the experts into the room. On the other hand, Lin Yan was still sleeping soundly on the bed. Lin Yan had been sleeping soundly when her phone rang. She instinctively switched it off because it was too noisy. When she finally snapped out of her daze, she was worried that Zhao Hongling had something urgent to discuss with her. Hence, she switched on her phone again. There were a few missed calls from Pei Nanshu. Why was Pei Nanshu looking for her in the middle of the night? She was puzzled when she saw a group of people standing at the door. Pei Nanshu was among them. What was going on? Lin Yan didn't have time to think. She hastily got out of bed and rushed to the door. Lin Yan had just stepped out of the room when she bumped into Pei Nanshu and the others. Pei Nanshu rushed forward when he saw Lin Yan. Miss Lin, are you all right? Ha, I'm fine. Mr. Pei, why did you call me so urgently? Sorry, I was sleeping and turned off my phone in a daze. Why are you guys here so late at night? Lin Yan's eyes darted to Qin Huan, Xing Chen, and the experts suspiciously. She knew Qin Huan and Xing Chen. She had seen them before, but the girl in black was missing. Qin Huan hastily pushed Pei Nanshu aside and rushed forward. Sister-in-law. Lin Yan was speechless as she stared at the man who had suddenly approached her. Who was he? Qin Huan said, Sister-in-law, Brother Yu's condition is very dangerous. Do you know what's happening to him? Lin Yan's expression changed instantly. Dangerous? How could that be? After we finished dinner, we went to bed separately. There was nothing wrong. Hey! How could you guys go to bed? Qin Huan sounded distressed. Lin Yan replied. Huh? What did that mean? Qin Huan coughed softly. What I mean is... Anyway, Brother Yu's condition is very dangerous. Take a look yourself. As Qin Huan spoke, she took out the phone-sized device from the professor's hand and showed it to her. She saw that the curve on the device was extremely high, and the red light on the device was still shockingly bright. Then why are you guys still standing here? Hurry up and go in. Lin Yan looked exasperated. She had almost kicked him in. This girl is right. If you continue to spout nonsense, young master's life will really be in danger. All of you, get out of my way. The white-haired old man said angrily. Qin Huan hurriedly stopped them. Big sister-in-law, you can't let them go. Medicine that can suppress Brother Yu's condition has severe side effects. It's best not to take it. Lin Yan looked disapproving. What kind of logic is that? If you don't take medicine when you're sick, what should you take? Even if the side effects were great, it was still better than losing his life, right? Of course, we should listen to the doctor. End of update, Mwax. Chapter 383. Sister-in-law, don't believe these old men's nonsense. The medicine they developed for Brother Yu is no different from poison. They only care about completing their mission and temporarily suppressing his illness. They don't care about how much suffering Brother Yu will suffer. That kind of life is neither human nor ghost. Even coming into contact with the air can be dangerous. Can that still be called living? Qin Huan said anxiously. Ignorant lad. What do you know? How dare you spout nonsense here? Professor Tan was infuriated. This lad had repeatedly questioned their painstaking research. He was simply too arrogant. The other experts behind him began to reprimand him as well. We are the professionals. If you want young master's well-being, get out of the way. That's right. Otherwise, can you bear the responsibility if anything happens to him? No matter how serious the side effects of the medicine are, is it more important than his life? Lin Yan's head was throbbing, but Qin Huan's words bothered her. She hesitated before she asked Qin Huan, other than taking the medicine, do you have any other solution? Qin Huan replied immediately, yes, yes, yes. As long as you sleep with Brother Yu. I mean, as long as you stay within Brother Yu's line of sight, everything will be fine. If you can touch him, that would be even better. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan was exasperated. What was going on? After a moment of silence, Lin Yan said solemnly, I think the doctor's words are more reliable. After all, Qin Huan seemed to be a lunatic. Even though Pei Yuqing's illness was highly affected by his emotions and she could calm him down at times, he was in such a dangerous situation. How could she be so childish? Did he really think she was a ginseng doll? Oh my God. Sister-in-law, why don't you believe me? Your brother used medicine. You're more useful than any tranquilizer, stabilizer, or any other random drug. You rascal. How dare you say that the medicine I developed is a mess? Lin Yan's expression hardened when she saw that they were about to start arguing again. All of you shut up. I'm going in to check on Mr. Pei. What? No way. This is too dangerous. At this time, no one is allowed to get close to young master. Before the professor could finish, Lin Yan strode to Pei Yuqing's bedroom. Before anyone could react, she turned the key and walked in. Pei Nanshu was shocked. He wanted to stop her, but it was too late. Professor Tan was also stunned. This young lady. Do you want to die? Anyone who dared to approach Pei Yuqing now would either die or be seriously injured. Even when they injected him with the stabilizer, they had to use a special device to control it. But now that things had come to this, everyone could only watch as the girl recklessly barged in. Then, they all stared nervously at the flashing red device in Professor Tan's hand. When Lin Yan walked in, she didn't see the mess that she had expected. It wasn't as terrifying as the people outside had described. The whole room was quiet except for the faint sound of the watch alarm coming from the head of the bed. Pei Yuqing was sleeping soundly on the bed. However, at this moment, the man's expression was not normal. His forehead was covered in sweat, and he looked like he was in pain. His breathing became more and more rapid, as if he was experiencing something extremely terrifying. Chapter 384. Lin Yan hastily took a few steps forward. The moment she got close, the man on the bed opened his eyes abruptly. Lin Yan had never seen such a terrifying pair of eyes in the night. They were extremely cold, like a bloodthirsty beast that could destroy everything at any time. An immense sense of oppression filled the room, making Lin Yan's scalp go numb. She stood rooted to the ground, not daring to take another step forward. At the same time, the watch on Pei Yuqing's wrist seemed to be stimulated by something as it began to ring rapidly. The sound made her hair stand on end. It was as though it was a sign of impending danger. Fear surged in the depths of Lin Yan's mind. Her first reaction was to run away from the man and the danger before her. However, Pei Yuqing's gaze became even more frightening the moment this thought popped into her mind. Lin Yan forced herself to calm down. Pei Yuqing seemed to be having a nightmare. He had been woken up by her abruptly, so he hadn't recognized her. So she had to calm down. Calm down. Don't be afraid. She had a vague feeling that her fearful attitude would agitate the man. She recalled the gentle way the man had always treated her. She recalled how Pei Yuqing had said that he couldn't bear to part with her, how he had asked her what reward she wanted, and how he had told her that she looked very beautiful on the competition stage. Lin Yan shut her eyes and forced herself not to retreat. Instead, she stood rooted to the ground and mustered her courage. Mr. Pei. In the room where only the sound of the alarm could be heard, the girl's soft voice was like a faint ray of light in a dark swamp. Pei Yuqing's cold eyes flickered as he snapped back to his senses. Following that, those terrifying eyes gradually regained their focus, and his gaze slowly fell on the girl in front of him. Mr. Pei, how are you feeling? Are you all right? Lin Yan frowned as she watched the man sit up slowly. However, Lin Yan didn't hear the man's reply. Pei Yuqing was like a beast that had no emotions or reason. In a split second, he had appeared beside Lin Yan. Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing's eyes met. Pei Yuqing's eyes were as mesmerizing as the stars in the sky. However, Lin Yan didn't have the time to admire his eyes now. His eyes were so cold and terrifying that it made one feel suffocated. Lin Yan wanted to break into a run when she met his cold, piercing gaze. Mr. Pei, are you all right? Lin Yan glanced at him as she tried to calm herself down. Before Lin Yan could react, Pei Yuqing suddenly extended his hand and grabbed her right arm. Lin Yan broke out in a cold sweat when she sensed the man's strength. Was this man trying to rip her arm off? Wasn't this relationship a little too deadly? Pei. Before Lin Yan could respond, Pei Yuqing's eyes gleamed coldly. Boom! In the next second, the people outside the room heard a loud noise coming from inside the room. What happened? Pei Nanshu's expression changed slightly as he prepared to charge into the room. However, before he could do anything, Qin Huan pulled him back. Second young master. Hold on. Chapter 385. It's so dark and windy. Qin Huan stared at Pei Nanshu and smiled faintly. It's so dark and windy. A man, a widow, and a woman are in the same room. Ahem. They must be communicating their feelings. It's a little too loud. I understand. Second young master, don't cause trouble. Pei Nanshu was speechless. How could they be trying to get to know each other? Meanwhile, in the room, Pei Yuqing strolled beside the bed, looking as though he was searching for something. Lin Yan hid under the desk and covered her mouth. She didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Fortunately, she had broken free in time. Otherwise, wouldn't Pei Yuqing's kick have killed her? Besides, Lin Yan had never imagined that Pei Yuqing would be so terrifying. Before Lin Yan could think further, she saw a pair of dark eyes staring at her. Lin Yan had been hiding under the desk. She hadn't expected that Pei Yuqing, who seemed unconscious, would be able to react quickly and discover her. Mr. Pei. Before Lin Yan could finish speaking, Pei Yuqing had smashed the wooden desk into the air. A second later, Pei Yuqing reached out to grab Lin Yan. Damn it! Lin Yan gritted her teeth. Although she didn't know what had happened, Pei Yuqing wasn't acting normally. She didn't have time to hesitate. She threw a punch at Pei Yuqing, hoping that she could force him to retreat so that she could escape. Also, couldn't those idiots outside hear what was going on inside the room? There wasn't a single person in sight. Bang! Lin Yan threw a punch, but Pei Yuqing grabbed it instantly. Pei Yuqing's palm was like a mountain. No matter how hard Lin Yan tried, she couldn't break free. She was doomed. She was doomed. However, just as Lin Yan thought that she was doomed, she sensed Pei Yuqing's terrifying strength retreating when he touched her palm. His cold gaze seemed to regain its warmth. Instinctively, Lin Yan fidgeted with the man's hand and called out, "Mr. Pei?" Pei Yuqing gently squeezed the girl's hand, and the hostility in his body dissipated like the receding tide. Lin Yan was pleasantly surprised to see that he had finally woken up. Even the silver watch on his wrist had stopped beeping, as though nothing had happened. At this moment, she suddenly remembered what the man with the white tulip in his chest pocket had said to her when she was outside. Could it be that she had really influenced Pei Yuqing that much? It was one thing for it to affect his emotions, but it could also treat and save people? This was too inconceivable. No matter what, she recalled the few times she had interacted with Pei Yuqing. That seemed to be the case. "Mr. Pei, it's me. Did you have a nightmare?" Lin Yan tried her best to sound gentle. Pei Yuqing studied the girl before him, who was wearing pajamas and slippers. She stood awkwardly a few steps away from him, not knowing whether to move forward or retreat. "Miss Lin." "Yes, it's me. It's me." Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when she heard Pei Yuqing's voice. Pei Yuqing released the girl's hand and pinched his eyebrows. "What's wrong?" Ahem. Lin Yan scratched her head, at a loss for words. Should she say that there was chaos outside and that she had been forced to rush in to see if he was dead? In the end, she had fought with him? Besides, Lin Yan wasn't sure if Pei Yuqing had completely calmed down. Hence Lin Yan said, "Mr. Pei, didn't you say that if I was afraid to sleep alone at night, I could look for you?" Lin Yan raised her head and blinked at the man. "I'm afraid." Chapter 386. She was afraid. She was really afraid. Hence, there was no need for Lin Yan to feign fear. Pei Yuqing was startled when he heard her. The last trace of gloominess in his eyes vanished completely, and his cold gaze melted bit by bit. Lin Yan mustered her courage and said, "Sorry, I shouldn't have barged in. Did I disturb you?" Pei Yuqing's face was sickly pale, and there were dark shadows under his eyes. He seemed to be in a trance, and he looked unusually weak. He looked completely different from his violent self earlier. Lin Yan hesitated when she saw him. She wondered if she should escape while Pei Yuqing let his guard down. Otherwise, if he were to lose control later, she would really be in a relationship that would cost her life. It was all Pei Yutong's fault. He had always instilled in her that Pei Yuqing was weak. She had almost forgotten how he had slapped the girl in black when he had lost control. Pei Yuqing must have been the culprit behind the mess in the nightclub. What a sin! What kind of dangerous place was she staying in? At this thought, Lin Yan made up her mind. She grabbed Pei Yuqing's hand. The girl extended her tiny hand and held the man's broad palm. She said softly, "If I stay by your side, I won't be afraid." Lin Yan wished that she could slap herself when she said that. F***ck. F***ck. Why did she have to say the opposite? Did women in love always say one thing but mean another? She had wanted to run away, but by the time she reacted, she had already grabbed Pei Yuqing's hand. Had she eaten a bear's heart or a leopard's gall? Wasn't she afraid that Pei Yuqing would twist her head off in the next second? Lin Yan shuddered as she regretted her decision. A second later, she fell into a warm embrace. In an instant, her breath was filled with the man's familiar clear scent. The moonlight spilled in through the window and shone on the two of them. The huge bedroom was silent. The silver watch on the man's wrist was quiet and did not make any sound. Bang! The next second, a loud bang of the door broke the silence. Big brother, Miss Lin. Pei Nanxiu had just barged in when he saw the two of them hugging each other. Pei Nanxiu and Qin Huan, as well as the experts and professors standing behind them, were all dumbfounded. Professor Tan stared at the instrument in his hand in disbelief. "It's stable. It's stable." Qin Huan blinked and then said excitedly, F***ck. Second young master. I told you we were exchanging feelings, but you didn't believe me. Hence, Pei Nanxiu stood awkwardly on the spot. The two people in the room were interrupted just like that. Pei Nanxiu, Qin Huan, and the others hurriedly retreated when they sensed Pei Yuqing's icy gaze. "Big brother, I'm sorry. Due to the abnormality of the instrument, we were worried and came over to take a look. I'm sorry for disturbing you." As soon as he finished speaking, the door was tightly shut with a bang. Outside the door, Pei Nanxiu and the others looked as though they had just escaped death. Qin Huan stared at the extremely stable value on the instrument and said proudly, "How about it, old man? I told you that natural stabilizers are the best. Just one hug and everything is settled. It's much better than your chemical products." Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 387. Although Pei Yuqing's condition had stabilized, no one dared to let their guard down. Pei Nanxiu, Qin Huan, Xing Chen, and a few other experts guarded the room for the entire night and made all the necessary preparations. The next morning, everyone except Qin Huan had huge panda eyes. Qin Huan stretched lazily and said, "I told you that everything would be fine with that woman around. You guys just like to worry." Looking at Qin Huan's heartless look, Xing Chen glanced at him faintly and moved his left hand out of habit. His left hand immediately made a creaking sound of metal rubbing against each other. Qin Huan had been lucky that he hadn't met Brother Yu when he lost control. He had experienced it himself. He didn't dare to recall what had happened. At that time, he had managed to keep his life. He had only lost a hand. Now that he thought about it, he was really lucky. After making sure that Pei Yuqing's condition had stabilized, everyone left. Meanwhile, in the spacious and bright bedroom, Lin Yan lay on the white bed beside the man. She hadn't slept all night. She held the man's hand carefully and didn't dare to let go. She was afraid that the death watch on his wrist would start beeping again if she let go of it. She had been wrong. She had really been wrong. She suddenly realized that she had made a huge mistake. She had told herself to trust Pei Yuqing's gentle and kind side. However, she had forgotten about his terrifying side. She had forgotten that his gentleness and kindness were just a facade. His facade had been too successful. She had been lured into hell by Pei Yuqing's angelic side, however, she couldn't be blamed. No one in this world could withstand this man's fake gentleness. She had said that she wanted to stay with him. It was impossible for her to go back on her words now. Besides, she didn't dare to. Lin Yan's eyes were wide open as she lay on the bed. She had been extremely nervous the entire night. When the hand she was holding suddenly moved, she immediately sensed it. Lin Yan's gaze trailed up to the man beside her. She didn't know when the man had woken up, but his pair of gloomy eyes were quietly staring at her. Lin Yan jumped in fright and almost broke into a run. She shrank her neck and held her breath. She coughed softly and said carefully, "Mr. Pei. You're awake." Pei Yuqing didn't speak. The morning sun shone on the man's face, but it couldn't melt the iciness on his face. His silence made Lin Yan even more uneasy. She held her breath nervously and didn't dare speak again. What if I accidentally said something that agitated him? After some time, the man's gaze landed on the girl's small hand. His slender fingers gently hooked the girl's palm and he said casually, "Do you regret it?" Lin Yan's heart skipped a beat as soon as the man finished speaking. At that moment, Pei Yuqing's eyes seemed to have seen through her completely. She had nowhere to hide. Wasn't this man too scary? He could tell what she was thinking at a glance. Besides, the current Pei Yuqing gave her an extremely unfamiliar feeling. She felt as though she had never truly known or understood the person in front of her. For a better reading experience, please browse and read on the internet. Chapter 388. Regretting it? Of course she regretted it. How could she not? But at this moment, even if you beat her to death, she wouldn't dare to say these two words. Pei Yuqing had been fine earlier on. Why had he suddenly lost control? Was it because of a nightmare? As the saying went, one dreamed of what they thought during the day. What had triggered him to have a nightmare that had made him lose control? Could it be that he had discovered her hiding the poster during the day, and he had discovered her twice? She couldn't be so unlucky, could she? Lin Yan didn't have time to think. In order to save her life, she could only blink and feign ignorance. Ha! Regret? Regret what? Pei Yuqing's fingers grasped the girl's hand and pressed it down. In a hushed voice he said, "Regret coming to me. Regret being dragged into hell by me." The man's deep voice and cold gaze were like chains that pulled her into the depths of the darkness. Lin Yan was speechless. She did regret it, but she had to admit that he had lured her here. What else could she do? In the end, Lin Yan coughed softly and raised her head. She smiled sincerely and said, "How could that be? Wherever you are, even if it's a barren desert, it's still an oasis for me. You're the source of water at the end of the desert. You're the warm sun at the peak of the snow mountain. You're the starlight in the endless night." Lin Yan had never imagined that her acting skills would save her life one day. What did this mean? It meant that she had to study hard and improve every day. One more skill meant one more way to make a living. Besides, she had to continue to work hard and evolve to deal with the boss, who was constantly increasing the difficulty of the level. This time, under the immense pressure, Lin Yan got into character quickly. When she met the man's eyes, she looked even more sincere. Besides, "So what if you take me to hell? You're there." Pei Yuqing's eyes flickered as he listened to the girl. He seemed to have sunk into a complicated train of thought. These were words that he had never hoped to hear from a girl's mouth in his entire life. Who would have thought that one day, he would actually hear it from her mouth? "As long as you're there." So what if it's hell? You're still there. These words reverberated in his ears over and over again like a cup of poisoned wine. Even though he knew it was poisonous, he kept tasting it, drinking poison to quench his thirst. Pei Yuqing was startled. After some time, the corners of his mouth twitched as though he was smiling. His thin lips parted slightly as he muttered something. "Little liar." The man's voice was too soft, so Lin Yan couldn't hear him clearly. She asked cautiously, "Huh? Mr. Pei, what did you say? I didn't hear you clearly." "Miss Lin, you don't have to be nervous." Pei Yuqing chuckled softly as he continued to squeeze the girl's hand gently. "No matter what nonsense you spout, I will believe you." Lin Yan choked on her own saliva. No. I'm not lying. Every single word I said came from the bottom of my heart." Pei Yuqing replied, "I believe you." Lin Yan was speechless. Mobile users, please continue to browse and read. For a better reading experience, please come to the website of self-love. My dear readers, I've been waiting for a long time. My train of thought is slightly stuck. I'll make up for it when it goes smoothly. Chapter 389. Early in the morning, at Star Entertainment. As the new director of the talent department, Gao Ziwei had called for a meeting early in the morning, as though he was going to take over the reins of the company. Everyone was fawning over him and fawning over him. How delightful! We've finally chased Lin Yan out of the room. If it weren't for Director Gao, that woman would still be under Zhao Hongling's protection. She would still be tarnishing the company's reputation. That's right. Zhao Hongling has the audacity to be the director. How could she have such a good eye for talent? How could she treat a piece of trash like a treasure? Does she really think that she will be popular? Lin Yan will be a hit? If she can make a big hit, I'll swallow this table. And Qianqian, who was seated on Gao Ziwei's left, chuckled softly. Don't say that. Her new movie is going to be released soon. It's going to be a blockbuster. She will be joining the cast of the best actors and actresses. Who knows, she might be able to ride the wave of popularity. Everyone's eyes were filled with disdain and mockery. Even if the movie becomes popular, what does it have to do with her? Qianqian, didn't you see how badly the internet is scolding her? Because of her, many fans are boycotting the movie. I bet the producer of the movie is in a terrible state right now. He must be regretting his decision. Lin Yan doesn't have any ability at all. She only knows how to create hype. She has a bad reputation in the industry. Anyone who gets involved with her will be in trouble. The person who spoke changed the topic and immediately looked at Gao Ziwei. He began to flatter him again. Fortunately, Director Gao's thunderous methods helped us get rid of this rat **T. Otherwise, I'm afraid that even our company would be implicated now. That's right. Director Gao will definitely lead Star Entertainment to greater heights. Gao Ziwei's face lit up with pride as he listened to everyone's flattery. You guys have reminded me. Since Lin Yan has terminated her contract with our company, she will have nothing to do with our company from now on. The Public Relations Department will make the necessary arrangements and release a statement to clarify this matter. Don't cause trouble for the company. Understood, Director. I've already made the arrangements. The person in charge of the Public Relations Department immediately said. Hence, Star Entertainment's official Weibo account announced that they had terminated their contract with Lin Yan. Star Entertainment was just a small company in the industry. It was only because of Jiang Xifei that they had gained some fame. However, after this official Weibo statement came out, it set off a lot of heat. Many people were cheering in support of Star Entertainment. Damn! Lin Yan, the malignant tumor of the entertainment industry, had finally been chased out. Star Entertainment has done a great job. What has Star Entertainment been up to? To keep this kind of artist in the company. It's no wonder that Jiang Xifei left for House of Millions Media. I heard that there has been a change of management in Star Entertainment. The previous director had been protecting Lin Yan, but the new management has better foresight. Gao Ziwei sat in front of the computer in a luxurious office that had completely changed. He looked at the fans' praises for him on the internet with a face full of pride. Qianqian, just you wait. She will come knocking on my door in a few days. However, when the time comes, I won't be so easy to talk to. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 390. In the past few days, Star Entertainment had been keeping a close eye on the news online, especially on the major forums. Meeting One's match hadn't even been released yet, but it had already been boycotted by the entire internet. This was within Star Entertainment's expectations. And Qianqian sneered coldly. Lin Yan relied on all sorts of scandals to gain popularity. It's normal for her to be boycotted by the entire internet. The corners of Gao Ziwei's mouth curled up. The production team released the trailer for this movie not long ago. Lin Yan was supposed to appear in it. However, due to the internet boycott, Lin Yan's scenes in the trailer have been deleted. One of the managers chuckled and quipped, Director Gao, this is nothing. Perhaps in the near future, Lin Yan's scenes in Meeting One's match will be deleted. They might even have to recast her. Although Lin Yan's character was important in Meeting One's match, she didn't have many scenes. It wasn't impossible for Lin Yan's scenes to be deleted because of the boycott. Gao Ziwei and the others weren't wrong. The production team of Meeting One's Match was indeed in a terrible predicament. They had tried their best to minimize Lin Yan's presence. However, they hadn't expected that the movie would still be boycotted. Naturally, this was the work of their enemies. They wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to suppress them, and there were also some other forces that were playing dirty. However, Lin Yan's reputation was too bad. Her fans had only needed to stir things up, and the public had been stirred up to boycott the movie. Now that the situation had been set in stone, they wouldn't be able to suppress it even if they spent money. In fact, it might even backfire. To make matters worse, many reputable film critics and fans had started to boycott Meeting One's Match. They had also declared that they would boycott any movie or TV series in which Lin Yan starred in the future. Under such circumstances, the production team was under immense pressure. During the meeting, Feng Anhua, who was in a terrible predicament, slammed the table angrily. Delete! Delete everything. Tell the publicity department not to include any footage or videos related to Lin Yan. Producer Feng, we've already deleted it. We've also deleted and reposted the previous version, but the effect isn't great. Everyone knows that Lin Yan has starred in our film, the crew member replied bitterly. Assistant director Wu Wenhai glanced at Jiang Yiming and sneered coldly. If someone hadn't supported Lin Yan and insisted on making her the supporting actress, we wouldn't have encountered such a problem today. Now, because of this rat poop, our investment of tens of millions is going to go down the drain. Some people have to take responsibility, right? Jiang Yiming's face darkened and he said nothing. He firmly believed that he wasn't wrong, but he also knew that the crew needed to make money. The industry was not a place that only talked about right and wrong. Feng Anhua replied solemnly. In that case, delete all Lin Yan's scenes and publish an apology to her fans. Chapter 391. Jiang Yiming's face fell when he heard this. No! Assistant Director Wu Wenhai raised an eyebrow. Director Jiang, are you still going to speak up for Lin Yan? Jiang Yiming replied, if we want to delete Lin Yan's scenes, we have to delete all of Wei Shufeng's scenes as well. After all, both of them have scenes together. Although Lin Yan doesn't have many scenes, she serves as a bridge between the previous and the following. The scene with Pei Nanshu is especially crucial. If we delete it, the entire movie will be ruined. At the mention of Wei Shufeng, everyone started to feel apprehensive. Wei Tianwang wasn't someone to be trifled with. If this doesn't work, then that doesn't work. Director Jiang, can you think of another way? The movie has already been set and will be released soon. There's no time to replace the actress. Besides, it's better to ruin the movie than to lose everything, Wu Wenhai quipped. He wasn't the only one. The other crew members couldn't help but grumble. Feng Anhua didn't speak either. He had worked with Jiang Yiming for many years and they had always had a good relationship. However, Jiang Yiming had to bear a heavy responsibility for this incident. Everyone in the meeting room started to grumble. Suddenly, Jiang Yiming stood up slowly and said solemnly, as the main director of this movie, I object to deleting Lin Yan's scenes. I have decided to release the movie as scheduled. When the time comes, if this movie loses money, I, as the chief director, will bear the consequences. I will explain it to the investors. Meeting adjourned. After Jiang Yiming finished speaking, he bent down and slowly bowed to everyone sitting there. The entire meeting room fell silent. After some time, someone muttered, what if this movie suffers a loss? This movie is bound to suffer a loss, right? Yeah. Didn't you see how terrible our showtimes are? All the cinemas don't want to air our movie. They are giving us midnight showtimes. Sigh. This movie was supposed to be profitable, but it has been ruined by that dog skin plaster. What bad luck. Director Jiang has made a mistake this time. He refuses to admit it. At Cloud Manor, after the frightening first night, the next few days were rather peaceful. Pei Yuqing was usually very busy with work, so he often came home late. They hadn't seen each other for the past 2 days, so they seemed to be getting along well. Lin Yan tossed and turned on the bed in boredom. From time to time, she would scroll through the news on her phone. When she read Star Entertainment's latest announcement, Lin Yan stroked her chin and grinned. Gao Jiwei was really shameless. How dare he use her to improve the company's impression of him? He even pretended to be a righteous man who enforced justice on behalf of the heavens. However, Lin Yan couldn't be bothered to explain herself. At this stage, she would be cursed by the netizens if she didn't speak up. What if she did? Meeting One's match was about to be screened, and she had won a new wave of criticism from the entire internet. Acting was her job, and she had done her job well. As long as she was worthy of her salary, it was fine. As for what would happen next, it was not something she could interfere with. Everything depended on the audience's reaction after the screening. "Daddy!" Pei Yutong's voice came from outside. "The door isn't locked." "Come in," replied Lin Yan. Pei Yutong strode into the room. "Why are you here again?" Lin Yan's eyes trailed to him. Pei Yutong replied flatteringly, "Daddy, I'm here to pass you a message." He had also come to the luxurious villa's game room and swimming pool. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 392. He had only dared to come here because Lin Yan was there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to come back. Pei Yutong had been coming up with all sorts of excuses to sneak into the villa. Lin Yan was used to it, so she didn't expose him. "What news?" "Forget it. Read it yourself." Pei Yutong tossed his phone to Lin Yan. Lin Yan's expression was indifferent when she read the news. It was just an announcement from Star Entertainment. "Daddy, I have to say that you're really popular." Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yan. "How long has it been since the announcement was made? There are already more than 100,000 comments and 60,000 shares. You're almost as popular as an A-list celebrity." She had to admit that being hated by the entire internet was a kind of ability. Because of Lin Yan, the internet had finally achieved peace. "As long as you slandered Lin Yan, you would be my brother and sister. We were a family. I'm not blind. I saw it a long time ago." "Thank you." Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong chuckled and said mysteriously, "Well, I have another piece of news that you definitely don't know." "What is it that I don't know?" asked Lin Yan. "I heard that the filming crew of Meeting One's match was about to get into a fight over whether to delete your scenes or not. In the end, Jiang Yiming took on all the responsibility by himself. He stopped them from deleting your scenes and decided to release the movie as scheduled." Pei Yutong exclaimed excitedly, "Daddy, I didn't expect that there would be a smart person in the production team. I wonder how the people who wanted to delete your scenes would react if they found out that you're the owner of Summit Entertainment." TSK. Lin Yan had been focused on doing her job and hadn't really cared about what would happen after the movie was released. However, when she heard Pei Yutong's words, she couldn't help but feel touched by Jiang Yiming's trust and protection. She hoped that she wouldn't let director Jiang down when the time came. "Oh yes, Daddy. How have you been with Big Brother these past 2 days?" Pei Yutong couldn't hold it in any longer and asked curiously. Lin Yan was infuriated when she thought about how she had fallen into Pei Yutong's trap and how he had brainwashed her. Wasn't she supposed to be frail and weak? Was she supposed to be frail and weak? She was extremely powerful. She could even read minds. She had literally delivered herself into a wolf's den. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong nonchalantly and grinned. "How are you getting along?" "You're asking, which elder brother am I from?" Pei Yutong was stunned when he heard this. Then, he was scared out of his wits. Big sister-in-law. Don't mess around. Don't act recklessly. Calm down. I won't really do that to my second brother." Lin Yan snorted coldly and yelled, "Nonsense. I haven't even asked you a question yet. Didn't you tell me that your big brother's body is very weak now? Didn't you say that your brother couldn't even stand and walk? In the end, do you know what kind of crazy thing happened on my first night here?" Pei Yutong's eyes widened in shock. "What happened? What did my big brother do to you?" Lin Yan was speechless. What was with this brat's expectant expression? "Your big brother fought with me. I almost lost my life." Lin Yan yelled angrily. Fight! Fight!" Pei Yutong was stunned. It was the middle of the night, and a man and a woman were living in the same room. Couldn't the two of you do something meaningful? In the end you went to fight? Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 393. Lin Yan had an appointment with Zhao Hongling to discuss the contract. She had no time to waste with him, so she headed to Zhao Hongling's apartment. Duo and Zhao Hongling were busy reviewing the contract. Duo, go and open the door, Zhao Hongling instructed when she heard the doorbell. Duo stood up and opened the door. Sister Yan, you're here. Duo greeted Lin Yan. What did you call me? Lin Yan grinned at her. Duo was speechless. Grandma, you're here. The corners of Duo's mouth twitched as she spoke. Good girl. Lin Yan nodded and tossed her bag on the couch. Lin Yan, I've read it carefully. There's nothing wrong with our contract, but... Zhao Hongling's eyes darted to Lin Yan with a strange expression. Sister Ling, what's wrong? Asked Lin Yan. It's about the salary. Zhao Hongling cut to the chase. Lin Yan quipped. Sister Ling, are you dissatisfied with the low salary? No. Zhao Hongling shook her head. On the contrary, it's too high. Zhao Hongling had specially investigated Summit Entertainment's remuneration. The commissions and guarantees offered by veteran managers were indeed ideal. However, Zhao Hongling's remuneration was slightly higher than that of the veteran managers in Summit Entertainment. According to normal logic, the minimum salary and dividends for those who had jumped ship should not be comparable to those of the veteran staff. That's good enough. Sister Ling, do you think there's a problem? Lin Yan was puzzled. Zhao Hongling nodded and replied, I'm very satisfied with Summit Entertainment's offer. I'm just curious. Why would Summit Entertainment spend so much money on me? I've seen it. Your artist contract offers a very good treatment. Is there a need to ask? Summit Entertainment thinks that the contract is worth the price. They aren't doing charity work. Lin Yan grinned at her. Zhao Hongling didn't doubt Lin Yan's words. Just as Lin Yan had said, Summit Entertainment wasn't a charity organization. They would evaluate a person based on their ability and potential. According to Zhao Hongling's expectations, their salaries and profits would be lower than Summit Entertainment's average. However, she hadn't expected the current situation. Usually, a manager's salary would follow the artist's salary. Summit Entertainment had treated Lin Yan well, which was why she and Duo were treated so well. In the past, a manager like her would never have dared to dream of entering Summit Entertainment. My salary has increased several times too. Duo stared at Lin Yan excitedly. Summit Entertainment's assistants were paid directly by the company. Duo's family wasn't well off, so she was considered the pillar of the family. However, she was already very satisfied with her salary at Star Entertainment. However, Summit Entertainment was offering her 6 times the salary of Star Entertainment. Moreover, this was only the salary for the internship period. If she performed well, there was still a lot of room for her salary to increase. When he first read through the contract, Plenty felt as though he was dreaming. Zhao Hongling and Lin Yan waited for a while before the staff from Summit Entertainment arrived. It was a staff member from Summit Entertainment who was in charge of signing contracts and a colleague from the legal department. Chapter 394. As expected of Summit Entertainment, the staff was professional. They didn't waste any time and asked the legal department to verify the terms of the contract. After ensuring that both parties had no objections, they signed the contract. The staff member stood up and shook Lin Yan's hand. Miss Lin, welcome to Summit Entertainment. After you sign the contract, please don't announce it to the public. Summit Entertainment will contact your manager, Miss Zhao, to arrange your schedule and personnel. Lin Yan replied. Okay. Thank you. The staff member said a few more words to Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling before he left the apartment. Zhao Hongling and Duo stared at the signed contract. This was the first time they had felt so real. They had really signed a contract with Summit Entertainment. Duo bit the back of her hand. Oh my God! This isn't a dream. My ancestors are really lucky. After discussing the contract, Zhao Hongling's eyes trailed to Lin Yan. Meeting One's Match is going to be released soon. Have you checked the schedule of the movie? Lin Yan nodded. I've heard about it. Zhao Hongling scrolled through the data and said, You should know that the situation isn't looking good. The movie you starred in will be screened at midnight or early in the morning. Besides, there will only be one screening a day. In the past, There were several other movies that were screening at the same time as Meeting One's Match. All of them wanted to make way for this movie. However, now that they have reappeared, I think that this movie won't pose any threat to them. In other words, this movie will fail miserably. Zhao Hongling analyzed the situation. It's because of the negative news online, right? Asked Lin Yan. Hearing this, Zhao Hongling nodded and said honestly, indeed, it has a lot to do with the whole internet boycotting this movie. Especially some famous film critics. They are very against this movie because of you, so they are boycotting it. The film's schedule isn't a charity either. Because of the boycott, the movie will be screened at midnight to minimize the losses. Zhao Hongling eyed Lin Yan intently. So you have to be mentally prepared. Lin Yan sighed after listening to Zhao Hongling's analysis. I'm just an actress. My duty is to perform well. I can't do anything else. It's not my place to worry. Good mentality. Zhao Hongling said. However, you don't have to worry too much. Since you have a contract with Summit Entertainment and you have the ability, you still have a chance to turn the tables. Zhao Hongling had a rough idea of who was behind this. Other than Star Entertainment, Triumph Entertainment and Lin Shuya had also put in a lot of effort. Their goal was to use this opportunity to silence Lin Yan from the entertainment industry. It might be possible to deal with artists from other companies, but Summit Entertainment wasn't powerful enough to ban artists from Summit Entertainment. Since Summit Entertainment had signed Lin Yan, they naturally wouldn't leave her to ruin their reputation. They would give her a chance to prove herself. Even if Meeting One's Match failed, as long as Lin Yan could maintain her composure and maintain her acting skills, she was confident that she would be able to build up her image with Summit Entertainment's resources. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 395. Duo had been with Lin Yan during the filming of the movie, so she knew that Lin Yan had acted well. Hence, she felt indignant on her behalf. Someone must be manipulating the public opinion. However, these people on the internet are too much of a parrot. They haven't even watched the movie, yet they are scolding me. Don't they have their own thoughts? I've always believed in one thing, replied Lin Yan. What is it? Strength can break all tricks. No matter what scheme or plot it is, it will be useless in the face of true strength. Duo was speechless. She was being narcissistic again. In the CEO's office on the top floor of Summit Entertainment, Summit Entertainment's boss, Chu Jiayao, glanced at the man curiously. Nanshu, tell me the truth. How dare you ask me to sign an actress with a bad reputation? What is your relationship with Lin Yan? Pei Nanshu, who had been harassed by Chu Jiayao for days, replied helplessly, Didn't I tell you? This collaboration made me think that this girl has potential. You won't regret signing her. Are you sure you don't like her? Chu Jiayao's face was full of suspicion. You have to know that the impact of this matter is very big. If you fall in love, and with such a disreputable artist at that, the whole company will be shaken. When that happens, I won't be able to explain it to the boss. Pei Nanshu was speechless, however. The truth was that his boss was the one who had fallen in love. Don't worry. It's not what you think. I have no intention of falling in love. If I did, I would have informed you. Pei Nanshu had no choice but to reassure him. Pei Nanshu didn't belong to any of Summit Entertainment's managers. Chu Jiayao was in charge of all his affairs. In other words, Chu Jiayao's boss was his agent. After working with her, you felt that she had potential. That's why you asked me to sign her. Why don't I believe you? There are so many actresses with potential, but you didn't ask me. Why did you insist on helping her? Chu Jiayao was puzzled. Pei Nanshu, who knew that Chu Jiayao wasn't that gullible, replied, Because I believe that she will be the most popular actress in Summit Entertainment in the future. Is this reason enough? Chu Jiayao glanced at the laptop on his desk and scanned the screen. Are you sure? A well-known film critic. I've always thought that Jiang Yiming was the most conscientious director in the entertainment industry, but I take that back now. Meeting One's Match is a lousy movie. I will never go to the cinema to watch another one of director Jiang Yiming's films. I'm so disappointed. A certain verified account in the fan circle. Oh my god. I had thought that the production team would have replaced Lin Yan. Who would have thought that they would still use her? She's dragging down the entire production team's standards. Is the production team crazy? Or do you think it's so easy to earn money from fans that you can stuff any sh*t into our mouths? I'm really sorry, but we're not eating this time. Wei Shufeng's fans replied, how dare they try to force all kinds of couples into our mouths? How dare they make Lin Yan and our young master act as a couple? How dare they let their fans watch such a sh*tty movie? Strongly boycott meeting one's match. A certain loyal fan, F***CK, choosing this kind of person to play my Queen Pianruo. The crew is F***king exploding. How dare they expect fans to pay for their tickets? Dream on. I would rather die than contribute a single ticket to the movie. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 396. Late at night, in a VIP room of a certain bar, He Shanshen pointed at the news on her phone and burst into laughter. I'm dying of laughter. That B***T6 Lin Yan was acting all high and mighty in front of me. Now, she is being scolded like a dog. I knew it. Does she think that the film she snatched belongs to her? Let's see if she can swallow it. It was expected. I tried to persuade director Jiang, but he didn't listen. He insisted on releasing the movie as scheduled. All the celebrities in the cast have been implicated. Jiang Sifei sighed heavily as she lamented. Lin Shuya sat in the middle of the couch with a glass of red wine in her hand. They will regret it when their heads bleed. It's a pity, Miss Lin. It wasn't easy for you to help me get the lead actress role. Jiang Sifei sounded aggrieved. Lin Shuya, who knew what Jiang Sifei was worried about, chuckled softly. Don't worry. This is just to make them understand one thing. If anyone dares to use Lin Yan in the entertainment industry, they will have to face the consequences. When the time comes, Feng Anhua will delete Lin Yan's scenes and release the film again. Then you can work with the other big stars to promote the film. Lin Shuya didn't care about Jiang Sifei at all. What she wanted the most right now was to destroy Lin Yan. Jiang Sifei was elated. Miss Lin, you are so thoughtful. 2 days later, Meeting One's match premiered. There were very few people in the cinema, especially in the middle of the night, so there were not many people watching. At the biggest cinema in the capital city, a famous film critic was sitting in an inconspicuous corner. He was shocked, especially when he saw Lin Pianruo's character. The girl was dressed in a black evening gown. She looked cold and aloof, and her aura was powerful. One look and one would be able to see the character she was playing. How is this possible? The film critic had originally come because of Pei Nanxiu and Jiang Sifei. However, after watching the film, he couldn't calm down. Pei Nanxiu's acting skills were superb. However, the film critic couldn't believe that an inconspicuous supporting actress had stolen the limelight from the female lead. Wasn't this Lin Yan, who had been the subject of much criticism on the internet? However, unlike the rumors, she had portrayed Lin Pianruo's character to perfection. She had perfectly replicated the original character in the book. Other than the critic, there were only a few people in the audience who were Lin Yan's haters. They had come to watch the performance so that they could criticize Lin Yan when they returned. They wanted to tell everyone that Lin Yan was an ugly, useless piece of trash who was a pile of **T. However, when she appeared, everyone's first reaction was that they had been stunned by her beauty. Previously, when Jiang Sifei had appeared, they had been pleasantly surprised. They had thought that Jiang Sifei was pretty after all. However, when Lin Yan had appeared, all the actresses in the show had been dwarfed by her beauty. What was even more unbelievable was that her scenes with the little heavenly king, Wei Shufeng, were nothing like the rumors on the internet. Instead, they were heartbreaking. Her final scene with Pei Nanxiu had been even more spectacular. After watching the entire scene, there was only one thought left in everyone's mind. How fragrant! I've added a few more chapters today, the update is over, also, the comments have been restored. I almost forgot to do the lucky draw. There are still dozens of canvas bags that I haven't drawn yet. Let's continue the event below this chapter. I'll give away 5 canvas bags, same as always. Chapter 397. The next morning, a film critic's Weibo post had become a trending topic. Praise Meeting One's match. Praise Lin Pianruo. It wasn't because the critic was influential, but because his comments were too conspicuous among the scolding. Basically, all the comments below were scolding the film critic for being sensationalist and crazy for wanting to be famous. Hence, the film critic posted another post to explain himself. I don't care what kind of person Lin Yan is. I'm only talking about her performance in the movie. Meeting One's Match is the best movie I've watched in the past 2 years. Lin Yan's acting is the best I've seen in the past 2 years, and her acting skills are the best. Her performance in the movie didn't affect the quality of the movie at all. On the contrary, she was an integral part of the movie. If she was removed from the movie, it would be a huge loss for the movie. I would like to apologize to director Jiang Yiming for doubting and criticizing the movie. Director Jiang's decision was the right one. I hope that everyone won't be misled by public opinion and let a good movie be buried. When this Weibo post was first posted, almost all the comments were cursed by anti-fans. Initially, I thought that this person was trying to gain attention and become famous. Now, it seems like he's Lin Yan's fake reviewers. How can you say such lies? You must be a fake reviewers. How much money have you received from Lin Yan? I've lived long enough. How can someone defend Lin Yan? Has his conscience been eaten by a dog? The film critic, who had been forced into a corner, replied, everyone can watch it for themselves. If you say that it's not good after watching it, I'll do it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll eat it. I'll eat it. Although this film critic didn't have many fans or influence, he was straightforward and had never tried to defend his movie. Hence, a small group of fans started to comment. I've watched many of this blogger's previous movies. They are all quite accurate. I don't think he would accept money to do such a thing. Ha ha ha. How dare he say that he'll eat *T during a live stream? To be honest, I'm really curious. I want to watch this movie. At the same time, a Weibo post by an anti-fan caused a commotion. F***CK. F***CK. Go watch Meeting One's Match. I must watch Meeting One's Match. All of you will fall in love with her after watching her. From today onward, I'm going to announce that I'm a fan of Lin Yan. Lin Yan and Wei Shufeng were simply too easy to get along with in the movie. KSW. This person was a veteran hate fan of Lin Yan's. Hence, most of her fans were haters of Lin Yan. Everyone thought she was crazy when they saw her status. F***CK me. What's going on, sister? Didn't you watch Lin Yan's drama last night? Hadn't she promised to share Lin Yan's acting skills with them? Why are you bragging? What potion did Lin Yan feed you? Sisters. She wasn't crazy. Last night, I watched Meeting One's Match with her. We wanted to secretly record some scandals and slander Lin Yan. In the end, we lost our minds. Even if Lin Yan had hired a fake reviewers, she wouldn't have hired such a person. Hence, this fan's post piqued the curiosity of many. In the end, it was reposted by a hate fan of Lin Yan's, and it became a hot topic. Chapter 398. Although everyone still doubted the authenticity of these words, people were curious. After seeing these comments, many people's curiosity was aroused. In particular, the anti-fan even released a lot of footage from the scene. The first photo was of Lin Yan in a black gown. Although the photos were a little blurry, it didn't affect Lin Yan's beauty. The second photo was of Lin Yan and Wei Shufeng. The girl was holding a phone in her hand as she gazed at Wei Shufeng affectionately. There was no emotion in her eyes. The last photo was of Lin Yan sitting in the ward and chatting casually with Pei Nanshu. Just from the photo alone, one could tell that the girl had a powerful aura. The production crew of Meeting One's Match hadn't dared to release any footage of Lin Yan. The only footage that had shown her silhouette had been deleted in the end. Hence, there hadn't been any footage of Lin Yan. When they saw the stills from the movie, many fans were stunned. What the F***CK? Is there something wrong with my eyes? Lin Yan looks so beautiful in the movie. She looks exactly like the Queen of Pianruo in my heart. Based on her looks alone, she is indeed good. However, even if she can change her face, how can she act? How can it be so exaggerated? I can't help but feel that Lin Yan and Wei Shufeng are a couple. Am I crazy? I want to go and watch it. I want to watch it too. Driven by such curiosity, many fans walked into the cinema. The first batch of fans were mostly Lin Yan's haters. When these haters walked out of the theater, almost all of them posted their own reviews on various social media platforms. All of them were praising Lin Yan. Later, it gradually attracted the attention of many professional film critics. After watching it, these film critics all reposted the Weibo of the film critic who had been scolded and criticized. Everyone was full of praise, saying that this was a completely underrated film. That night, praise Lin Yan's acting skills became the top trending topic. The afternoon screening of Meeting One's Match in all the major cinemas was filled with curious fans. It was hard to get a ticket in the end. The voices of those fans who had personally gone to the cinema to watch the movie gradually gathered like a stream, and finally condensed into a huge torrent, sweeping through the entire internet. I apologize for what I said to director Jiang Yiming. Director Jiang is one of the few directors with a conscience. The role of Lin Pianruo belongs to Lin Yan. Scold me if you want to. This time, I shall praise Lin Yan's acting skills. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Lin Yan. Is that really Lin Yan? His acting had improved so much. What exactly happened to Lin Yan? I'm Wei Shufeng's fan. I thought that I would hate Lin Yan after watching her work with my baby. However, Lin Yan's acting was so good that I forgot that she was Lin Yan. I even kowtowed a little too much. It's a pity that Lin Yan didn't have many scenes. I'm a fan of this movie, so it's inevitable that I'm stricter about the casting. Hence, when I first found out that Lin Yan was going to play the role of Lin Pianruo, I was furious. I felt as though the goddess in my heart had been sullied. However, after watching the movie, I'm really grateful to Lin Yan for portraying Queen Pianruo so perfectly. Chapter 399. There were more and more comments online. Although there were still many haters and fake reviewers who tried to control the situation, the number of people watching the movie kept increasing. There was no way they could control the situation. In the end, the entire internet, including the official Weibo account of Meeting One's Match, was flooded by the same comment. There was only one word to describe this comment: amazing. Initially, no one had been interested in the movie for the first 3 days. However, on the 4th and 5th days, the theaters had started to increase the number of screenings for Meeting One's Match on the 6th day. All of Lin Yan's scandals and her haters had been converted into the box office sales of this movie. The movie's box office had skyrocketed along with Lin Yan's popularity. It had become a trending topic on the internet. The entertainment industry was a magical place. 1 second, you might be a nobody, but the next, you would become famous overnight. A second ago, you had been hated by the entire internet. A second later, you were being praised by the entire internet. Lin Yan was still sleeping when she heard the news. Too many people had been criticizing her. Zhao Hongling was afraid that she would be affected, so she had ordered her to disconnect from the internet and not pay attention to the public. Usually, when Pei Yuqing wasn't at home, Lin Yan would be at ease in the villa. Zhao Hongling had forbidden her from surfing the internet, so she treated it as a vacation. Hello, Sister Ling? What's wrong? What's wrong this time? Lin Yan asked in a daze. Before Zhao Hongling could reply, Duodwa's excited voice was heard. Grandma, you're popular. Ha! Haven't I always been popular? Lin Yan raised an eyebrow. No, I'm not talking about you. You're really popular. The entire internet is praising your acting skills. Because of you, the box office for Meeting One's Match has been soaring. Just now, producer Feng called Sister Ling and wanted to contact you. He wants to invite you to a promotional event for their movie. Duo explained excitedly. Lin Yan sobered up a little. Invite me to the promotional event? Feng Anhua wished that she was invisible. How could he invite her to the promotional event? It seemed like Duo was telling the truth. Lin Yan had expected that the movie's reputation would improve. However, she hadn't expected that it would change so drastically in just a few days. Did Summit Entertainment intervene? Asked Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling replied, Summit Entertainment said that they didn't do anything. It was your performance that brought the movie back to life. It was all thanks to director Jiang Yiming's persistence that the movie was released successfully, replied Lin Yan. You don't have to be humble. Your performance was indeed very good. Actually, the main reason why people slandered you before was because you didn't have the ability. This is the Achilles heel of an actor. But now, you've shown everyone your strength, and you've also shown them your sincerity. Zhao Hongling continued. Feng Anhua doesn't know that I'm still your manager. He contacted me because he couldn't get in touch with you. I haven't revealed too much to him yet. But I've asked around for you. He's sincerely inviting you to participate in the promotional activities for his movie. You can participate in this activity. It's good for you. Lin Yan nodded. Okay. Sister Ling, please make the arrangements. Chapter 400. After she hung up, Lin Yan glanced at the time on her phone. She reckoned that Pei Yuqing would be back soon. Indeed, she had just put down her phone when she heard the sound of the door opening. Then, she heard familiar footsteps. Pei Yuqing was wearing a blue-gray Dior suit and a camel-colored coat. He tugged at his tie as he strode in. Qin Huan, who was trailing behind him, was reporting something to Pei Yuqing. Xing Chen, who was usually chewing on a lollipop, seemed to have something on his mind as he trailed behind him in silence. Lin Yan was sitting cross-legged on the couch, hugging a soft and comfortable pillow. She stood up hurriedly. Mr. Pei, you're back. Logically speaking, they weren't just boyfriend and girlfriend. They were living together, yet they hadn't changed the way they addressed each other. It was a little strange. However, she had gotten used to it after some time. Pei Yuqing hadn't corrected her, so she had just addressed him that way. Otherwise, if she had called Pei Yuqing by his nickname, it would have seemed blasphemous. Pei Yuqing seemed to have drunk some alcohol, as he looked more languid than usual. His eyes were dark and deep, and he seemed to be in a daze. Pei Yuqing's eyes darted to the girl when he heard her voice. The languid look in his eyes turned watery. When his eyes landed on the pillow in the girl's arms, they turned cold. Lin Yan was puzzled by Pei Yuqing's stare. She blinked, wondering what he was looking at. After some time, she realized that he was looking at the pillow in her arms. Huh? What was wrong with the pillow? Why was Pei Yuqing looking at her so unfriendly? Why would he be so unfriendly to a pillow? She had been very careful in the past few days. She had hidden all the dangerous items well. This pillow belonged to Pei Yuqing's house. She hadn't brought it here. How had it offended him? Instinctively, Lin Yan cast a suspicious glance at Qin Huan. What's wrong with your boss? Qin Huan coughed softly and pressed his hand to his forehead. He gestured for her to throw it away. Huh? What did Qin Huan mean by that? Lin Yan was even more confused. Qin Huan realized that Lin Yan didn't understand him, so he mouthed, "Throw it away." At the same time, Pei Yuqing strode over to Lin Yan. The man's approach was accompanied by a tremendous sense of oppression. Lin Yan couldn't help but take a step back. Instinctively, she hugged the pillow tighter. Pei Yuqing walked over to the girl and the silver watch on his wrist began to beep. Holy shit! What was going on? Lin Yan's hair stood on end when she heard that voice, which sounded as though she was about to die. It had been fine for the past few days. Why did it start beeping again? Could it be that they were going to fight again? She would rather die than fight him a second time. The desk that she smashed last time had made her heart ache for several nights. The things in this room were definitely not cheap. How expensive would it be if she smashed any one of them? Qin Huan and Xing Chen's faces fell when they heard the alarm. Both of them started to gesture frantically at Lin Yan. Chapter 401. Lin Yan couldn't understand what they were doing. At that critical moment, Lin Yan was the one who realized something. Pei Yuqing's expression when he saw the pillow in her arms was the same as when he had seen Pei Nanchu's poster. A second later, Lin Yan flung the pillow as far away as she could and hugged Pei Yuqing. She said solemnly, "What kind of lousy pillow is this? It's so hard and soft. It doesn't feel comfortable at all. It must be made of black cotton. A natural pillow is the best." Beep, 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 beep. The watch stopped ringing. Qin Huan and Xing Chen heaved a sigh of relief, as though they had just escaped death. Pei Yuqing seemed to have sobered up a little. He gazed at Lin Yan gently and asked, "Are you hungry? What do you want to eat?" Pei Yuqing acted as though nothing had happened. If the alarm hadn't gone off, Lin Yan would have thought that she was hallucinating. The second thing that Lin Yan was afraid of was Pei Yuqing's watch. The first thing she was afraid of was Pei Yuqing asking her if she was hungry. Lin Yan was even more frightened when she heard him. She replied hastily, "I'm not hungry. I've already eaten. You don't have to cook for me." Lin Yan looked as sincere as she could as she tried her best to avoid eating. "Oh yeah, Mr. Pei, you must have been drinking. You must be feeling unwell. I'll go to the kitchen to cook some soup for you to sober up. Wait for me." Lin Yan helped Pei Yuqing to sit down on the couch. Fortunately, her hug and the way she had thrown the pillow at him had pleased him. Pei Yuqing had calmed down completely and regained his usual gentleness and politeness. "Thank you," Lin Yan replied. "You're welcome. As long as you don't enter the kitchen, you can do whatever you want." While Xing Chen and Pei Yuqing were discussing work, Lin Yan pulled Qin Huan aside. "Mr. Tulip? Excuse me, what happened just now? What happened to the pillow?" "Miss Lin, my name is Qin Huan." Qin Huan introduced himself. Then, he glanced at the pillow that had been thrown to the corner and said, "That's second young master's personal item. Don't you know?" "Ah, did this belong to Mr. Pei?" "I don't know. I thought it belonged to the house when I saw it on the couch. I think it was given to second young master by a fan. Second young master treasures it very much and always carries it with him. Luckily you threw it away quickly." Qin Huan was also shocked. Lin Yan patted her chest as fear lingered in her heart. She had hugged Pei Yuqing's personal belongings tightly in front of him. She must be tired of living. However, her idol was too loving. He even brought along a pillow from his fan. How dare she say that Pei Nanchu's pillow was filled with black cotton? "Sorry, Mr. Pei." She really had no choice. This is too dangerous. If that's the case, won't there be traps everywhere? I should check with Mr. Pei and Pei Yutong later. "I don't want to touch anything that I shouldn't," Lin Yan muttered under her breath. Otherwise, with such a big house, how would she know who owned what and what she couldn't touch? So the only person in this house that she could touch was Pei Yuqing? Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 402. The most luxurious place in Pei Yuqing's villa wasn't the bedroom, the study, the swimming pool, or the gym. It was the kitchen. The kitchen was very spacious, and there was a huge freezer with all kinds of fresh ingredients in it. The tools were also very high-end. It was obvious that Pei Yuqing loved to cook. Lin Yan found the ingredients needed to make the soup and began to prepare it according to the instructions on the internet. Actually, her cooking skills were terrible, but they were at the level of an average human. She couldn't compare to Pei Yuqing's hellish cooking skills. Lin Yan peeked at the living room from time to time as she prepared the soup. She had a feeling that Lollipop seemed to be in a bad mood today. What was Lollipop called again? His name was Xing Chen. Indeed, Lin Yan saw that Xing Chen hadn't left after reporting to Pei Yuqing. He was still standing in front of Pei Yuqing, looking as though he wanted to say something. Pei Yuqing noticed that the boy hadn't moved, so he glanced at him. "What's wrong? Is there anything else?" Xing Chen looked conflicted, as though he wanted to say something. Qin Huan, who was at the side, seemed to have sensed what he was going to do. He quickly shook his head and mouthed, "Hey, don't court death." Xing Chen must have sensed that Pei Yuqing was in a good mood tonight, so he inhaled deeply and took a step forward. "Yes, brother Yu. I have something to ask of you." Qin Huan rubbed his forehead in despair when he heard Xing Chen. He whispered anxiously, "Xing Chen, are you crazy? How could you make such a stupid mistake?" He hurried forward and tried to pull Xing Chen away. "Brother Yu, Xing Chen is fine. He just drank too much tonight and is a little talkative. Ignore him." Xing Chen's eyes hardened as he glanced at Qin Huan. He pulled Qin Huan's arm away firmly. Qin Huan wasn't Xing Chen's match, so he struggled free. Xing Chen rushed to Pei Yuqing and said, "Brother Yu, Xiaoya has been punished for a long time. Can you let her come back? She can't stay in that place any longer. Otherwise she..." "Xing Chen." Qin Huan glared at Xing Chen. He had a death wish. Pei Yuqing, who was flipping through the documents, replied casually, Otherwise what? Stop talking. Qin Huan stared at the expressionless man who seemed harmless to both humans and animals. Cold sweat seeped out of his forehead. Otherwise, little you will. Swoosh. At the same time, Pei Yuqing, who had been flipping through the documents, moved his right hand. Xing Chen's forehead seemed to have been hit by something. His entire body was thrown to the ground, and he appeared to be in pain. Brother Yu. Xing Chen's body trembled as his eyes darted to Pei Yuqing, who hadn't moved at all. What else? Pei Yuqing replied nonchalantly without lifting his head. Brother Yu. Xiaoye. Bang! This time, Xing Chen's body was like a kite with a broken string, crashing into a nearby bookshelf. Books scattered all over the floor. Otherwise what? Pei Yuqing adjusted his gold-rimmed glasses gently as he replied nonchalantly. However, Xing Chen was silent at this moment. He endured the pain in his body and struggled to stand up with the help of the bookshelf beside him. Chapter 403. Qin Huan heaved a sigh of relief when Xing Chen fell silent. Others might not understand Pei Yuqing, but he knew him the best. This man didn't have a single shred of emotion. He was as though he was a machine that was programmed to be cold and cruel. If Xing Chen continued to be so unappreciative of his kindness, he might die. Pei Yuqing would crush him with his own hands. Even though Xing Chen had been with him since he was young, Pei Yuqing wouldn't be soft-hearted. Just like Xiaoye, whom Xing Chen had mentioned. This man was too terrifying. He was so terrifying that even though he looked harmless, he could send chills down one's spine with just one look. Don't try to play the emotional card with Pei Yuqing. He didn't have any. Lin Yan frowned as she scanned the living room. What was wrong with Xing Chen? Pei Yuqing had just finished reading the last page of the document when his eyes landed on Xing Chen. Pei Yuqing's gentle expression didn't change at all, but the aura around him made one shudder. The immense pressure made Xing Chen break out in a cold sweat. What did you say just now? Pei Yuqing asked coldly. Xing Chen and Qin Huan shuddered when they heard Pei Yuqing. Qin Huan didn't dare speak at all. If he dared to say a word, Xing Chen would be in deep trouble. Even he would suffer. Brother Yu, I didn't say anything. Xing Chen gritted his teeth. Pei Yuqing replied calmly, if I remember correctly, Ling Yu's punishment will end in 2 years. Xing Chen's eyes lit up when Pei Yuqing mentioned it. He nodded as though there was a glimmer of hope. Brother Yu, yes. Xiaoye can't hold on any longer. 2 years is too long. Pei Yuqing fell into deep thought. Really? Pei Yuqing's slender fingers tapped the table rhythmically. Then let's increase it by another 10 years. What? Xing Chen was completely dumbfounded. His body was trembling, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Xiaoye couldn't hold on any longer. 10 years? How could this happen? What had he done? It was him who harmed Xiaoyu. He had thought that Pei Yuqing would change because of that woman. He had thought that there would be a tinge of humanity in Pei Yuqing. However, Xing Chen had realized that he was wrong. He was ridiculously wrong. Do you want to accompany her? Suddenly, Pei Yuqing changed the topic. Brother Yu. Xing Chen looked flustered. Even if he had to die, he absolutely could not go to that place, that laboratory that only contained despair. You haven't answered me. Pei Yuqing stared at Xing Chen expressionlessly. I don't want to go. Xing Chen's breathing quickened. Go down, Pei Yuqing replied. Immediately, Qin Huan hurriedly supported Xing Chen and hurriedly retreated. In the kitchen, Lin Yan watched as Qin Huan supported Xing Chen limping past. She poked her head out and called out to him. Hey! Damn! Suddenly, a head popped out, causing Qin Huan to shudder in fear. Miss Lin? Xing Chen was startled when he recognized Lin Yan. Come here. Lin Yan hurriedly beckoned them over. What do you want? Qin Huan was puzzled. Lin Yan didn't explain as she dragged them into the kitchen. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 404. What happened just now? Lin Yan shut the kitchen door and stared at Xing Chen and Qin Huan. She had been standing too far away, so she hadn't been able to hear anything. Pei Yuqing had suddenly flared up, and the two of them had left. She had been left alone to face Pei Yuqing's wrath. Of course, she had to get to the bottom of this. Nothing happened. Miss Lin, you're too curious. This isn't a good thing, quipped Qin Huan. Xing Chen's eyes flickered as he stared at Lin Yan. Miss Lin Yan. Miss Lin. You can definitely help me. Xing Chen gazed at Lin Yan excitedly. Me. Lin Yan instinctively pointed at herself, looking confused. Xing Chen. Qin Huan frowned. Are you crazy? Are you trying to kill her? No. Perhaps. Brother, you will listen to her. Lin Yan was Xing Chen's last hope. Xing Chen, you know what you should and shouldn't do. Miss Lin might not know what kind of person Brother Yu is, but both of us know him. If you had continued, I might have had to bury your corpse. Do you understand? Qin Huan said solemnly. Xing Chen instinctively glanced at his metal arm. He knew. He knew what kind of person Pei Yuqing was. However, this was his last chance. He couldn't let Xiaoya stay in that place. What happened? Lin Yan became even more anxious when she saw Xing Chen and Qin Huan's expressions. Just what kind of fatal matter was it? Miss Lin. Ling Yu is one of our friends. She has been with Brother Yu since she was young. However, a few years ago, she made a small mistake and was punished by Brother Yu. Xing Chen stared at Lin Yan as he spoke. Since it was a small mistake, I think Mr. Pei isn't a petty person. It's just a small mistake. It shouldn't be too serious, right? Asked Lin Yan. Not serious? The corners of Qin Huan's mouth twitched. This fool pleaded with Brother Yu. Xiaoya should have been able to return in 2 years, but she ended up getting injured. Xiaoya will be back in 10 years. Ha! Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. Why? Was Pei Yuqing really that heartless? Miss Lin Yan, I'm begging you. Can you help me plead with Brother Yu? As long as I recover to 2 years of time, it will do. Xing Chen said agitatedly. Lin Yan glanced at Xing Chen, who was covered in scars. Xing Chen was Pei Yuqing's confidant, yet he had ended up in such a state after pleading for mercy. Xiaoya had even increased her punishment. Although she really wanted to help, she really couldn't do so. Although I really want to help you, it's useless even if you plead for him. I've only known Mr. Pei for a few days. Xing Chen hastily replied. Miss Lin, as long as you agree to help me, I will do anything you ask of me. Lin Yan sighed. It's not that I don't want to help you, but I really can't. Xing Chen, or you can directly state a price. Lin Yan looked helpless. This isn't about money. How much are you offering? Xing Chen, Qin Huan. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.